Welcome to another episode of Season 3 of the Panjwai podcast. As usual, you can find our episodes on YouTube, Facebook, and your favorite podcast platform, whether that's Spotify or Apple iTunes, iHeartRadio. You pick it, we're there.
If you want to support the podcast financially, we've set up a few ways for you to do so this season. You can become a patron by hopping over to patreon.com/thepanjwaipodcast and sign up for a small monthly donation. If you want to make a one-time donation, you can find us on Venmo at the Panjwai Podcast. And last but not least, we've got a small selection of merchandise in our store. So if you head over to thepanjwaipodcast.com and click on the store tab, you'll see stickers and other merchandise, and who knows what might come down the pipeline.
All that I can hope is you take me with you when you go. I guess I should have known I can't leave with you when you go. Now Cow Island is awfully quiet, with your screen door staying closed. And if I learned French like you told me, baby, I would hear your ghost.
First one.
Well, the first one didn't have any guests. It was just me
Oh, it
and
was just
Luke.
you guys, right?
Yeah.
It was
Just
just
prattling on, yeah.
The first two, actually. And then it seems every time we do one that doesn't have a guest, it doesn't do very well. So I think we're pretty much done with those. Apparently no one wants to hear us talk anymore.
Yeah.
So
Except for maybe like the last episode, the very final one.
yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to everybody. Like, when we do finish the Panjwai podcast, you're just going to have to listen to us on the last one. I don't give a fuck. Sorry.
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Sorry, brah. Sorry, brah.
Sorry. Suckers.
But in the meantime, we're here with Sergeant First Class Dave Salvador.
Oh, man.
You start recording? You did?
Oh, yeah, we've been
Oh,
recording
yeah.
for a while.
Cut.
Sergeant First Class. I knew Dave Salvador as a specialist.
Yeah.
Dave Salvador, medic, line medic, company medic. And to think of him in charge of an entire platoon of people. Actually, a company right now. But what kind of?
Like a detachment.
A detachment. The senior NCO in a detachment right now is... I am horrified.
You and me both.
Nah, man. Army needs good leaders, man. Dave stepped up to the plate.
We can't all get out and get fat like me.
I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, what am I going to do today? Fuck.
Whatever you want.
You're starting first class now.
Well, anyway, Dave is here with me in Alaska. He flew up for the weekend, which I was super appreciative of.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, dude, of course. And we haven't gotten to do that as often in season 2, and get to start season 3 with it, just like we started season 1 with an in-person guest. So I'm sorry that Luke didn't get to enjoy Dave's company, but I did.
Bummer.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, Dave, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming out. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring my seat closer.
Yeah, get as close as you want.
There you go.
We always open these things with kind of a kind of intro to you. So how'd you come to join the Army? Why did you choose to become a medic? And what was your journey that brought you to Bravo Company in Sperwan Ghar?
All right, so I was born and raised in the Philippines. Moved over when I believe I was 13. Yeah, 2004. Joined the Army because my mother thought I was a turd. And it was good for me, and I picked medic because you can get both sides, right? The medical piece, it's like a skill set that you can have, and then go with the infantry and then maybe the hospital. I plan on getting out. But, 12 years later, I'm still in. First duty station was Korea. Then I went to Bravo Company. Actually, no, 164. HHC, the medic platoon, and then from there, they split us up. I think I was bouncing around Charlie, like the tankers, and then I went to Bravo Company. Sperwan Ghar, well, because, so they offered me, actually, my platoon sergeant offered me, hey, do you want to be the PSD medic for the sergeant major and the battalion commander? right before deployment. And I think this was right after NTC, and I was like, fuck no, man. I'm going to stay with my guys, you know?
Good call.
Yeah, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been miserable, man.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to be like their bitch.
And then you probably still would have ended up at Sperwan Ghar at some point, except you just would have been like the new guy. And everyone
Look at this turd.
Like 6 months later.
piece of shit shamming out on PSD the whole deployment.
You don't know shit.
Well, the way Rudy tells it, he culled the herd a little bit, and he picked guys to come with him. So Rudy was the one that gave you the option to stay or come.
He probably did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, I don't really remember, but I know they offered me PSD, and I definitely denied that shit.
No, man.
Yeah.
That'd be terrible. That'd be misery for sure.
And so you did NTC with first platoon.
Yeah. When did we go? February, right?
February.
Yeah. February.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not me. I was, just doing my
You're
own
in basic
private
training.
thing, but
Oh, you came in.
I was still in
after,
basic
yeah.
training.
Yeah, it was much more enjoyable than going in August, which was my first trip to NTC. So,
Dude,
I didn't know you went twice.
Cold, dude.
Yeah, I went twice. Yeah.
Wow.
February was so cold.
Dude,
I was like, this is the desert.
I
It's
loved
supposed
it.
to be hot.
I was loving it, man. I actually
It
have
was
a memory
freezing.
of coming out of the tent one morning and there's actual snow on the higher
Yeah.
mountains, and I was like, "This is it. This is
Dude,
nice. I
that
can
was
do
so
this."
cold.
Yeah. Going in August when it was 115 degrees was not
Oh,
fun.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you want
I
snow on
guess.
mountains, you should come out
come over
to
here.
Alaska.
Yeah.
We just got like a foot of snow, and
It's beautiful.
everything is covered. And today it was negative 15 degrees when we woke up,
Mm.
and like the air is completely clear. There's not even a dream of a cloud in the sky.
So cool.
It is
That
so
sounds
nice out. Yeah,
That sounds awesome.
yeah.
Got the
It was-
stove rolling in the cabin.
Stoves rolling as we speak in the cabin. It was out when we woke up, so it was a brisk 55.
I
When
was like,
we,
my toes.
we slept in a little bit and let the cold creep in a bit. But I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
it was
Old Sal's got that thin Filipino blood. Ain't built for cold temperatures.
he's done good. He bitched like the first day,
Yeah.
and he bitched this morning. But to be fair, I bitched this morning too. It's fucking cold.
Yeah, so I didn't feel
negative
bad. I was like,
15
okay,
is
all right.
brutal.
Negative
But you-
15 in November is fucking.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that, and the dogs weren't either. Like my little one, like she was out for like 30 seconds, and then her feet froze, and she's like trying to like pick her feet up. She's like trying to take a shit, but she doesn't want to put any of her feet down.
I was like, is she frozen or like is she trying to take a shit? Both.
The poor dog was too miserable to like take a proper shit. So she was like in like the middle of like 4 different motions, and like taking a shit with 1 foot on the ground.
That's some
That's
skill right
funny,
there.
man.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I was
I
like,
think
oh,
I could take
poor
a
thing.
shit with my one leg. Should try that.
Combat
next time.
dump, son. Combat. Did you ever have the pleasure of a combat dump? Sal?
Yep. Yeah, I remember shaking. Man, my legs were shaking. Taking a shit and trying to fucking wipe your ass with your kid on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my god.
You're like trying to reach around, like around all your
You gotta
magazines.
go to the fucking
and,
front
like-
or the back. You're like,
I mean, maybe this is controversial, but I feel like maybe a combat shit should be a 2-person operation. You know?
Yeah.
who
that's
did
true.
that shit? It was
Have it-
Phillips and somebody else. Was it Nagern? That photo?
Oh yeah.
No,
It's a photo of Phillips.
Yeah, great photo of Phillips.
Great photo. Perfect infantry photo.
Yeah.
Just mean mugging the camera, throwing up deuces, just dropping a huge dump in a ravine. Like,
I only had the pleasure of one combat dump, and we started taking contact literally like 2 minutes after I buckled my breeches. So I was very thankful that bullets weren't whizzing by as I was dumping out. That would have been a bad time.
Oof.
and, I'd feel bad about the fact we did all these combat dumps, like in the middle of these, like, I don't know, people's neighborhoods
People's
and backyards
homes.
and shit.
Yeah,
But like they were doing the same thing.
they do the same
So-
thing, dude.
Mhm.
So, well, I'm gonna deviate a little bit with a really good war story. Is we had been there maybe like a month, and there was some dudes digging around in one of the drainage canals, one of the irrigation canals right outside the COP, like in Sperwan, the village. And so they spotted them on the raid camera. They got all worked up thinking somebody's putting an IED in.
I
And so
remember this.
we went out in the middle of the night
Yep.
to do a raid on the house that these guys walked back into. And so we're like walking around. It's a miracle we didn't step on an IED. So we're like walking down the roads and stuff like that. And I remember under nods, this dude comes out of his house because it was right before dawn, This dude comes out of his house and he like walks across, doesn't see us. We're probably like 20, 30 feet away. He doesn't see us and we're sitting there and I watch this dude through nods. He hops over, gets into the grape field and he just takes a dump like literally 5 feet from his front door. And my altered version of the story is that I popped over the wall and put the gun on him and said, freeze, something like that. And I scared the shit out of him.
Very clever.
It's loosely based in reality.
Yeah.
I remember that mission,
him.
actually. It was like our first real night mission, and it was like a raid, and we were all into it. And like we were walking down the fucking roads into the village of Sperwan. And then but I remember that like whatever we thought they were doing, it turned out that, like they were making bricks, or it was something super mundane that if we'd been there for more than like 6 minutes, we would have known exactly what they were up to.
Yeah.
But like, dude, that was the first time that I had to pull an all-nighter on that deployment. Actually, it was.
Yeah,
it was my first all-nighter, and I was so tired. And I was just like, fuck this. And I distinctly remember it's the first experience on that deployment where, I had my nods down and I kept doing this all night.
Yeah.
Or like when you're behind the gun and you're just like doing this with like one finger to keep the nods from like falling down on your rifle and just take a little bit of the weight off.
Yeah.
Come to find out, like you can do this thing called put a counterweight on the back of your helmet.
What's that?
I know, right?
11 Bravos don't have counterweights. What are you talking about? We weren't high speed.
2012.
Yeah.
It's frowned upon.
No counterweight. Hell, if you had put a counterweight on it first, I'd be like, oh, that shit's not good for him.
Oh yeah, we would have got fucking.
Tankers don't have that.
Oh, you think you're special, PSC Grace? You get a relief from the weight of a PVS 14, but your team leader doesn't. Take that shit off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you guys got Bali, so
Yes, yeah, Bally would have literally beat the shit out of me for it.
that shit.
But anyway,
Speaking of
We're
taking
going
your
down
shit, so
some weird tangents.
I saw Sergeant Odd. This shit was funny as hell, man. We were in NTC, and we were about to like go up this hill right before we got fucking schwacked. So he was like, "Look away, Doc," and I was like, "What the fuck?" And he was just against a rock taking a fucking shit, massive shit. I'm pretty sure he had a dip in his mouth, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And he didn't really wipe his ass. It was like that tissue from the MRE.
oh god, it's just worthless.
That's a bad time.
It's like, he goes, "What?" And I was like, "All right, let's go up this hill."
I can imagine Sarnot doing that, and like in one hand
Coffee,
and he's like drinking it, but like
Drinking
in
it.
my mind, it's just going in and coming right back out.
Yeah.
That's why. That man never drank water, man. I was like, holy cow.
He drank a Gatorade once the day that Clark got blown up. That's the only time I've ever seen him drink anything
Was
but
it
water.
a full Gatorade? Or like
No, it
sip?
was real Gatorade. Yeah, like he's like, hey, does anyone have any water or Gatorade?
He was sucking.
It's like, holy shit, this is bad. He's not drinking coffee anymore.
He
Yeah.
needs something.
That's the only time I've ever seen him suck, man. Yeah, because
it's
I just
terrible.
remember he was completely wrecked. And I grabbed him on the shoulder and I looked him in the eyes, like from here to the camera. And I just looked at him. I was like, "Are you all right, man?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm good." And I'm like, "All right."
What a good dude. I love him, man.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he's
much
best.
love for Sarnot.
Yeah,
Command Sergeant
please
Commander
come on
Sarnot.
the Panjwai podcast.
Yeah.
Please come on.
Please join us
Please.
while you can.
Yeah.
So Dave, so when did you get to 164 in terms of like timeline?
So I was in Korea, I think 10 to 11. I think April.
Okay, so you were with us for quite a while.
Yeah,
before.
April 11.
Yeah. And all that time you were in the headquarters platoon until
HHC, because that's where all the medics were. And then, that's the medical platoon. They had the treatment platoon, or treatment section, and they have like the line section, basically. I think that's the evac section or whatever. I don't really remember. And then those guys go to line and go from there. So you have the aid station guys and the line guys.
Right. And so you came to us, went to NTC, came back, hung out with us. I remember, that's when I met you when you guys got back from NTC. And then we deployed. And what did you know about, what were you briefed about on Panjwai? Did you guys get any kind of special information, like on the medic side of what to expect, or?
Not really. I think we got the same brief I got the same brief as you guys did, right?
Okay.
That NTC brief, like, hey, there's fucking IEDs everywhere. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, same brief.
And so, when they said IEDs everywhere, were you mentally preparing yourself for, like catastrophic limb loss? Were you expecting like single amputation kind of wounds, or?
I think I was preparing for the worst, really.
The worst,
hey,
yeah.
Quadruple,
Just
right?
people
What do
being
you
blown
do,
apart,
right?
yeah.
Like, I was playing like what if games in my head.
Sure.
I mean, just to get ready. So.
Yeah. Because I know, because Doc Berner had been on a deployment before where, I mean, people were stepping on IEDs that were literally just making them disappear. Just like,
Yeah.
huge charges that were just
That's
erasing
crazy.
people. When I would think about when they were telling like, oh yeah, IEDs, I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna die if I step on one, I die. It's not I step on one and there's a chance. It's just
It's like
Yeah.
that
Gone,
famous
right, yeah.
video in Iraq of that like 2.5 ton truck just barreling down a highway,
right,
and then it explodes, and it's just like it looks like a munition factory went up.
right.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what we all had in mind. So,
Yeah, the big ones. Yeah.
did
Not
you
really,
did you
like,
get any
anti-personnel.
specific briefings on the actual like nature of injuries and things like that, or was it just like everybody else, like you're flying blind?
I don't really remember. Yeah, I don't really remember. I don't think we probably did from Rudy, right? But
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't really like remember. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, I do remember. I mean, heard from a couple different people have said this, that the unit that we replaced didn't do a great job of briefing us on what to expect, as far as the medical piece, the operational piece, until we really got there. There wasn't a whole lot of communication coming from them. I mean, even Kitching was telling us in his interview, he was getting bits and pieces, and the biggest piece of information he got is what prompted that discussion at NTC. But as far as like their operational schedule and how often they were going out, how many wounded they had, the degree and extent of those wounded, I don't think anybody really had an idea. And nobody was really in direct contact, which is weird because in subsequent deployments I went on, you are in contact with like your counterpart. It's like the first sergeant's talking to the first sergeant, the commander's talking to the commander, platoon sergeants are talking to platoon sergeants. Hey, where are you? What's it like? What's the food situation? What kind of stuff can we bring? What are the facilities like? What should we tell people to leave behind? So you gotta have an idea.
Because these things are scheduled, like you already know, like maybe a year out. Somebody knows because they plan these things. Hey, this unit will take over,
Right.
yada yada. Yeah, but it's just weird at that time. I don't know if it's because they were remote, but Sperwan Ghar was not really
Wasn't that remote? They had phones and they had Nipper and Sipper
we had
and all that stuff.
Crazy MWR over there.
I think this is just me posturing. I don't think that they wanted to tell us how bad it was.
Mess up with their heads, maybe.
And like until we got there. I don't know why that would be. I think maybe they worried that if they told us how bad it was, we wouldn't come
never
and
go
relieve
and
them.
replace them. It's like, oh, where are they at? 2 months later, yeah, we're not coming.
Yeah, sorry, you told us what it was really like, so we decided not to come.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it could have been like that.
Yeah.
I suspect it's probably more of a just they were busy doing what they were doing. They didn't really think it was necessary to give us all that info.
Or they told their battalion S3 and your S3 just never passed it down.
Oh, that's totally. You're totally right.
Happening.
I mean, you're probably 100% right. Actually, they probably passed information up to the battalion level, and then their battalion is what decided not to pass it on.
Pass it down, sitting in somebody's email.
Sure. Yeah. Oh well, we'll tell these guys. These guys will figure it out when they get there. Like, imagine if we knew back in December, like, hey, you guys need to get hot on this thing called a mine hound, or you guys need to get training on this Thor, or like all these different techniques and
Did
equipment.
we get those? I don't think we ever did. Yeah, we never did. Back at home, we never did.
Not in Gordon, or not in Stewart, no.
Yeah.
Not until we got downrange. But
Yeah.
I mean, if we had known about the, like, especially the mine hound, there's a 40-hour course for the mine hound. We could have sent people to a 40-hour course in January instead of sending them to NTC. Like, hey, you're not going to NTC, but you're going to go to this 40-hour course with General Dynamics, and they're going to teach you how to use this thing. Imagine if we had like super highly qualified mine hound operators when we started that deployment. I don't know.
Then about 3 months in, they'd have been gone.
Put the
Because
shit
they would
over
have gotten
your,
blown up. And we would have had
put the shit over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Or pull up Perez and start jumping on shit.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
I'd like to think if we had extremely well trained mine hound operators, they would have not gotten blown up.
You think it actually works? Like,
It can if you use it properly. If you know how to adjust the depth of the GPR. Like, the GPR is the main thing that makes that thing awesome. The metal detector is worthless because the whole fucking ground is
The
metal.
whole thing's yeah.
Um,
But how fast would you have to move? It's got to be slow.
Yeah, you have to
right?
be so slow.
Very
That's
slow,
what would happen.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like if we're getting pushed on a patrol to push
I'm like, hurry up!
real
We're
fast
like
and
10 meters away from the cop.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, remember when General Abrams came and we talked to him about the Mine Hound? He's like, Mine Hound has been proven time and time again to be the most reliable. We're like, how fast were they moving in that trial? He's like, a meter a minute. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's like if we moved that slow, they would take their entire division of Taliban and surround us within 5 seconds.
Look at these
Yeah.
turds.
1 meter a minute. Get out of here, man.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah, we're not looking for Roman coins in the British countryside. Like we're looking. Yeah.
Right.
Look, if I'm gold.
That's a good microcosmic example of the separation between the way leaders think
Here
and how
and
it actually happens. Yeah,
Hey, man, they won the contract. They made money. That's all that matters to them.
big money, big money.
I wonder if do you think they're still using that thing?
Oh yeah.
Really?
They got a newer version now too. It's got like an LED screen and everything. I mean, it's a
Like the
good
City
device. The device works, but it's not designed to be used the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like what we kept trying to say, like, hey, our biggest threat is the carbon rods. That's the thing we can't find. And there's metal all over the ground. So let's just, when we're moving fast, let's just use the Chia
Yep.
to look for carbon rods. But if we come to like an intersection or something sketchy, we'll watch out for the Mine Hound.
Did we do that, or did we just like fully switch?
We wanted to do that, but they wouldn't let us because of that study that said the Mine Hound was the
best
one.
one,
It was the best one. And like, well, why would you switch out? Because it weighs 4 times as much, bro.
How about you come patrol with us, and then
Yeah.
you swing this thing for like an hour.
Yeah, or 6.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, because we rotated between the Chia. What was the other one? Valen?
The Valen.
Yeah, Valen, and then the Mine Hound. Yeah.
But this is a medic episode. Why are we talking about mine detectors?
Right.
So you didn't really have any kind of heads up because the unit force wasn't really passing the information along, or the information that they were passing along didn't make its way to us.
Yeah. Or I just didn't pay attention. That's
Oh, yeah,
a huge
there's a-
possibility. It's probably like the case.
Sure.
There's this PFC Salvador. Was I a specialist then?
You were a specialist.
Okay.
Yeah, you were definitely a specialist.
All right, specialist Salvador. Fucking not paying attention.
I mean, you had to be a specialist first, and then a medic second. So part of being a specialist is not paying attention, right?
Trying to master it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got to Sperwan Ghar. I mean, what were your expectations going out there? I mean, did you have anything in your mind that you were expecting, like as far as like, the first aid or the aid station or living conditions or what the patrolling was going to be like?
So living conditions, just based off of other people's deployment experiences, right? It was shitty as hell. And then we got there, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I was like, "This is awesome." Yeah, living conditions in Sperwan Ghar. Yeah, by far, it was really nice. But the AO, man.
Yeah. I mean, because you went on probably most of the first patrols because you were the platoon medic, so you probably on all the RIP patrols. I mean, how was walking around with those guys? What was kind of your initial impressions?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was brand new, right? That was my first deployment.
Sure.
I was like, I don't really know what to expect. Nothing to compare it with.
Right.
So it's just, I guess, happy-go-lucky, go with the flow. I don't know.
Right.
Pull security when you have to.
Because nothing happened on those
Nothing really
early
happened.
missions.
There was like one time they were like, "Oh, somebody stepped on an IED," but I think it was like maybe like a toe popper. I don't know. With the other guys.
It was like an ANA or something like
maybe,
that.
Yeah. One of the first missions that we did, but I don't think he actually lost a toe. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not 100%.
That kind of sounds familiar now that you mention it. I don't remember the details.
Yeah,
though.
I don't know if he actually got injured. I don't know. Yeah.
I forgot about this.
You remember that? It's like one of the
don't-
RIP
I
missions. Yeah.
It sounds vaguely familiar. Obviously, I know it wasn't any of the Americans. Nobody.
No, definitely ANA.
Yeah, it was definitely an
Okay.
Afghan. And I want to say, yeah, I don't remember enough about it to speak intelligently on it, but it does ring a bell. Yeah, it rings a bell.
Initial.
Yeah. So I mean, but you had the distinction of going out on every patrol with the platoon, pretty much. I mean, I know Rudy would try and relieve you from time to time, but for the most part, no matter what squad was going out, you were out there with us.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, the result of that is in 3 months you're seeing like 6 months worth of combat compared to
right.
everybody else,
Right.
boys, myself. Yeah.
But you also somehow like you weren't out there when Boyce got hit because
for some reason,
Hollers was out there for you. But you were, I think you were out there for pretty much everybody else.
Yeah,
getting
Rudy
hit.
definitely, like, whenever I asked, like, hey, I need like a day or two, and he would
Right.
definitely switch me out. Yeah, he took care of me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was,
but most, I think, 90% of the patrols that we did for first platoon, I think I was there. So.
and did you have any like responsibilities at the aid station as well, or were you pretty much just, your job as first platoon?
No, both.
Both.
Yeah, both. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's only like, maybe, was there 6 of us? Like less than 5. I think 5 to 6 of us there. 1 per platoon, and then you had Rudy and then Hollers. So
And would they like
everybody-
rotate you through the aid station based on whether you were on QRF or whether you were on a mounted day or dismounted day, or I mean, how did they decide?
Yeah,
who was-
whenever I was there, I would go to the aid station.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's just kind of your
help
place
out,
of business when you weren't patrolling.
Yeah. Or when I'm like off, I want to sleep or some shit, go over there. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And how was that experience? I mean, just working in the aid station, just separate from the patrolling piece. I mean, especially early on, were you getting that March-April timeframe? Were you seeing a whole lot of Afghan casualties, or was it pretty quiet?
Remember, I think the first casualty we had was Burner's casualty. The guy that swam across the river, got shot up, and then he brought him to the aid station.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really remember the time frames. Like, it was the peak of casualties in the aid station. It just felt like every freaking week there was one in there.
Sure. But mostly locals or A&A or kind of a mix?
I would say mostly local. Yeah, my memory's pretty, I would say mostly local. Like, local A&A, right? Like,
Right.
A&A and then local. I mean, Americans, very few.
Yeah.
Right? Like, not many, so... I think that
But
aid station
for-
treated like about, I want to say 40, maybe 50 casualties in total. Combination of, Americans and
everybody.
everybody else, yeah.
Well, it wasn't common for Americans to come back to the aid station.
No,
'cause we would
no,
medevac
you'd get
them,
hit.
Yeah. You're getting
Yeah.
picked up by a bird. You're not getting sent back. to
Yeah,
the
no,
base.
why, right? Like, it's a
Right.
waste of time. If you can
I mean,
just
the
fly off the
exception
calf.
might be Perez. Obviously, the day
Boyce.
Swindle got hit.
Swindle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we,
just-
we,
it
we
depends on
medevac
the-
Boyce to.
Yeah, it
the-
depends on the injury, right? If
Right.
it's
Yeah.
catastrophic, then there's no freaking way. Why would you bring him to the aid station?
Right.
It's a waste of time. Yeah, there's nothing you can do but put on a tourniquet. We didn't have any blood at the time, right? It was just, go straight to calf.
I mean, in hindsight, I'm actually surprised we took Boyce to Sperwan Ghar and not to Massamgar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
I mean, I guess, it's right in the middle. I mean, is it closer to Sperwan Ghar?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
Was it?
it's got to be. Or otherwise, we
bit
would have
closer.
taken him to Massamgar, right?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Or Mazamgar said, hell no. I don't
They
know.
might have.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
also,
no.
I always forget this. Massamgar had a shitty ass
station.
HLZ.
Yeah,
their HLZ
on the
was
slope.
hot
Yeah,
garbage.
yeah,
It sucked.
yeah.
So maybe that was one. I don't know.
That could be. Yeah, I'm not.
How
Not
was that?
sure.
Did they have a shitty aid station too at Massamgar?
I don't think I actually went in their aid station.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's.
Because we had a really good aid station. So.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, like I said, like the living conditions in Sperwan Ghar, like everything was pretty good.
Yeah,
but
pretty
the
top
area
notch.
was like, meh. It was
So you
stupid.
probably got to work with Captain Cottrell quite a
Yep.
bit, right?
Yeah, Captain Cottrell. Yeah, he taught me a few things. Yeah, good dude.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything. Yeah, it's like, Sarah.
What was your experience like working with him?
It was good. I think I did like 90% of the things that you're supposed to know as a medic. I'm pretty sure I did over there, except the crike. We tried to crike someone, but he said you can't do that because he's already dead.
Oh.
Like, it's like basically playing with a dead body.
What's a crike?
So a crike is like basically you cut open this piece, put
Uh-huh.
a tube in there, so open up the airway. Right?
Oh,
So
okay,
if
gotcha.
Their phase are messed up, or you can't
Like in the movie
Can't breathe.
Anaconda.
Who the
What are you
fuck has
talking
seen
about?
Anaconda?
No, in the movie Anaconda, like he swallows like this. He's like swimming and he swallows a wasp or something.
You
So
can't
they, like,
breathe. Yeah.
They can't breathe, so
Put
they
a tube
take a
in there.
knife and they cut his
Yeah.
throat and they stick a pen in his throat and he can breathe.
I don't know about a pen.
Well, I mean, come on, it's a movie. So there was also a 60-foot snake. So
Yeah. Okay. Right. Whatever works. Yeah.
What's the difference between like a crike and a is it tracheotomy or whatever?
Yeah. Cricothyroidotomy. Yeah. So it goes over here, right, on your crike. You see this Adam's apple? There's like this notch, external notch.
Yeah.
You just cut that open. There's this piece, the membrane over there. Then you have access to the trachea.
Is that the same as a tracheotomy?
I'm pretty sure it's the same. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay, gotcha. It's the same thing.
Same thing. Put the tube in there.
So that's the only thing you didn't get to do as a medic in Afghanistan.
I know.
You got to cover the rest of them.
Yeah, we did a chest tube in the aid station.
NCD.
Yeah, we did that.
Nice.
A bunch of times. IOs a bunch of times. IVs. A lot of.
Yeah, you got pretty good at putting IVs in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so your first firefight was our first firefight too, for me and Luke.
Yep.
Where the dude got wheeled out in the wheelbarrow.
Yep.
And where were you during that event?
I think I was in the back. Yeah.
You would have been back with me. Yeah, back with
formation.
Sarnat.
Sarnat.
Yeah. So you're back there with me.
Yeah, it's always me, the medic. So me as a medic, really like right next to the platoon sergeant or the PL. Mainly the platoon sergeant, and then the RTO would be with the PL.
Right.
So.
Right. Which made sense to have you in the back because the only thing worse than somebody getting hurt would be you getting hurt and not being able to treat that person. So if you're in the back, at least there's 24 feet that can step on something before
hopefully
you
they don't shoot us from the back.
Yeah,
like
hopefully.
that day.
Yeah.
Remember that? It was like pop shots from the back.
Yeah.
Like, what was that?
People being all sketchy and shit.
Yeah. It was a good firefight.
Well, I mean, what was how'd that kind of play out for you in your mind, like as it started to kick off?
I was actually kind of confused. I've never been in a firefight. And I was like, what is going on? And then you have Sarnat yelling at me, get down and get on the berm. So I did, right? And shot a couple rounds through the window. You have Perez just shooting his saw.
Everything. Like
contact.
Not even sure if he's looking at anything. He's just shooting. Like, I just got my CIB. I just got my CIB. Woo!
You over there trying not to drown.
Look. That was Lieutenant Person's fault. We've established
help.
that.
Oh my god. I was like, should I go help? But I'm like, I'm probably gonna drown too. Yeah. Better him than me.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Good times, yeah. But then that kid, man, it was so weird. There was like a lull, right? We were calling some stuff up, and then this kid comes out with a wheelbarrow, and I was like, what the fuck is that? It's like pushing his dad. I don't know if this his dad or his uncle, and I'm like, oh my god, evisceration, right? Just guts hanging out, and I was like, well, yeah. Let me try to treat this guy. Yeah. First casualty, right? I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, and then
that's a good first casualty though, because he was a bad dude. Yeah, we found out later on he was a Taliban commander. So
was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I don't feel bad.
And that, I mean, when you talk about like a first firefight and like a CIB earning event,
that's a good one.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Like a legit firefight, a huge volume of fire.
Multiple combatants. There was probably at least 6 dudes out there.
Mm-hmm. Complex ambush. Everyone got to shoot. Everybody earned it. Yeah. People are running with bullets kicking at their feet.
Yeah.
And
I remember seeing Burl like trying to run to the only cover we had, the 3 pillars.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
It was like
pillars.
packed of people.
It was like 6 people deep behind a pillar.
His M9 just like dragging along.
Oh man!
But not only that, we got like you could see like not you saw the enemy, saw them shooting at you, and you got a confirmed kill, like a small
that's
arms kill.
I would say that's pretty
like
legit.
that was so. We had no idea how atypical that was until like 6 months later.
Yeah.
Well, we can edit this out, but I like to think it was me that smoked that dude.
It probably was you.
I'm 95% certain it's me.
I'm pretty sure it was me, bro.
I smoked somebody. I don't know if
It was you
him,
or Bally for sure.
It's somebody.
Yeah, if it was that guy, it was the dude in the doorway. I smoked that dude for sure. I fucked him up. But I don't know if that was him that came out.
Because somebody I saw something by I don't know if it's a doorway or a window.
Yeah,
right?
doorway.
Like somebody was moving around, and everybody was just like, "Oh, guy!" And then,
well, so when it first kicked off, there was the doorway, and this dude come out, and he was like John Ramboing it, and I just got lucky. I happened to have my optic on that doorway. I was just scanning, and he literally tried the John Rambo. Like he was swinging out like this with his AK, like he was shooting from the hip, and I just started smoking fucking scunion, man, just laying it down.
That was probably him.
And he fell backwards. He dropped the AK and he fell backwards like this into the darkness of the doorway. But I remember the white man dress, and like a big black beard.
Yeah,
And I feel like that dude you treated had a big old black beard.
yeah,
he
that,
did.
that was him.
Yeah,
that was
he did.
definitely him.
Yeah.
Because I put that dude in the hides and the bath system.
You guys
I
did?
just remember.
Oh, yeah.
I
Okay.
did. Yeah, I went over there and put him in real fast while you were actively treating him. And I just remember like picking up his hand and it was ice cold. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, this guy's gonna die.
He's gonna die. It was crazy because it was like one gunshot wound right to the gut. Guts hanging
Got
out.
him.
Just shredded him, man.
And I was
Jeez.
like, well,
He got shot in the arm too, right?
I think so.
gunshot.
Yeah, arm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think probably was probably like arm, gut. Yeah,
Arm and gut.
yeah. Fucking
Well, what's
yeah.
crazy is so like we got in that fight, and then you get like you said, there was a lull. We're like reorganizing, moving our security up, everything. He comes out with that wheelbarrow. Eventually, we do go across the canal, and we go into that building.
That was sketchy too, man. Like
Super
walking
sketchy.
through that path. But then I was like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
if the kid came through that path, he
Right.
should be all right.
Right.
Yeah. So
But I mean, like, if I remember correctly, they didn't find shit in that house. They went in, they looked, they didn't find anything. And like, so we're on security on the wall on the north while everyone else is inside looking for stuff. Obviously, there were tons of dudes in that house when we were getting shot at, so they all left. They were gone. They took all
Well,
the
the
shit
birds
with them.
had eyes on, or the birds of the peach splinter. Somebody had eyes on them, dude. Exfilling.
really,
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah, exfilled to the north, and then they shot at us again while we were pulling
Trying to-
security.
Yeah.
It's
Tell you
like-
what, I was scared as hell, man. I was like, oh my god.
It was a legit fight, man. And then we had to
I was
walk
too
like
juiced
the
up on
2K
adrenaline
north.
to even know. I didn't even know to be scared. But then we started walking.
Yeah,
My legs
yep.
started locking up.
Yep.
Yeah, we started walking towards them.
Yeah.
Like they went
Yeah.
north. We're going north
We're
too. I'm
going
like,
north.
oh
I was like,
fuck.
what?
And we found an IED on the way going north.
Did
Like,
we?
yeah, and we avoided it.
Okay.
We just called it in. It's like,
Okay.
no, we're not fucking
we
with
didn't.
that thing.
We didn't blow it up. Okay.
No, we didn't do
Okay.
anything with it. We found another canal to cross that I refused to cross this time. It's like, we will find another way.
Man, that thing was going, dude. Like,
Yeah,
the
I'm aware.
current was going.
I was in it.
He said cross, and you said, "You sure, sir?" Yes.
Hoorah, Master Chief.
Help. It's okay, man.
It's all right. We all
It's all right.
almost.
Somebody got an Archon V that day, so.
We don't talk about that. But I mean, you had to go out with second squad a whole bunch of times, and they did not have anything yet, but you did. So were they like giving you a hard time about that, or
No,
No.
you don't really fuck around with a medic, you know.
that's true? Yeah, you don't.
Don't fuck with the
You
medic.
you
Don't fuck with the
medic.
cooks.
It's like, all
And
right.
don't
Yeah.
fuck with supply.
Yeah,
And don't
cooks and
fuck
the
with supply.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All them pogues, man.
Hey man,
I was a pogue.
love my pogue. You are
I'm
not
a
a pogue. Fuck
I'm a
off.
pogue.
If you're a line medic, you are not a pogue. You heard it here on the Panjwai podcast. So okay, and then so I guess the next major thing was the horn. You did the clearing the horn
Yeah,
operation.
yeah, man. Was that 5 days? 4 days? 3 to 5 days?
Yeah.
6 fucking days, man.
Was it
So
6
it was a whole
days?
week. Yeah.
Dude, here's what I remember about the horn. It's probably because I was fucking like heat stroking. The whole
Right.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was hydrated if I took a piss once a day and it was brown. And now years later, I'm like, oh, that's probably rhabdo.
Dude, there was
I remember-
no way to stay hydrated.
Dude, I
out
remember
there.
crawling. Dude. I see like a piece of like just shadow, right? I'm like, oh my god. Looking at that fucking- it's so hot. Dude, it was so hot.
Yeah.
It was so hot. But I learned something too. Like, I remember asking, I think we asked somebody, like some Afghan kid or Afghan family for like water. And they come out and I drink this water. I'm like, why is it cold? Like, I know you don't have a fridge in this shit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, yeah, look, cover it up with like a piece of cloth, get it wet, and you start spinning the thing.
Yeah.
And then that moisture, right, cools down that jug, the water inside.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, pretty cool. Oh, skill set.
Huh.
Thank you. And so everybody started doing it, like their
Right.
socks, right? They put their water bottle. You see this guy
Yeah, I
like
remember
fucking
that
spinning this shit.
Or you'd spin
yeah,
it
voice
on
was like,
like a.
"Whoa."
Or you throw them in a cooler with some ice in there, and you just spin it real fast.
yeah,
Get
yeah,
it to
nice
cool
and
down.
cool, yeah.
Huh.
Forgot about that.
I was like, what? It's
Mhm.
pretty cool.
So you drank Afghan water?
Yeah, I definitely.
Damn,
drank
son,
Afghan
you must have
water.
been hard up.
He was hot.
Yeah. On the back
did we
end
see?
of-
I don't
on
think
the-
we saw. Did we see any casualties that time?
That's what I was going to ask.
First
I mean,
platoon
did you have to
didn't, I
treat
don't
anybody
think.
at all?
I don't think
on that
I
one?
did. I remember because Burner, I think, did.
Yeah,
Burner did,
Burner
yeah.
had
Somebody, an
problems.
Afghan dude, went into a compound. I think one of the first days, and then boom, and then we're like, okay, here we go. It's gonna be a shitty mission. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I remember that from the trucks.
Yeah.
Like we had just started.
Yeah.
We were like, we had just gotten into the riverbed. We're like, all right, 7 days, here we go. And they're like, calling for our 9-line medevac. I'm like, what?
Already, right?
It's been 20 minutes.
I don't remember that. Yeah.
It was so
Yeah,
early
yeah.
on, you probably never even heard about it.
It was like, what the hell is going on? Yeah. Luckily, it wasn't one of ours.
Yeah, I think they were with 3rd Platoon.
Yeah. And then we just walked, man. We just walked for days, and we cleared this village. And then we walked past it. Next thing you know, somebody hit it with a mortar. Then we had to run back over there. I think it was a willipede.
Right.
Like, you just see like all these animals just go. Woo! I was like, oh my god, dude.
But no one got hurt there.
Nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, edit that out.
Yeah.
Well,
Talk about
somewhere
shake
in
and
there,
bake.
somewhere in there, somebody burnt up an old granny in the Coogee village.
I remember that. Yeah.
Did it
Like an old woman had gotten hit. I think it was actually smoke from the artillery guys.
That's
But it, like,
why I
landed
got
on
blown
there.
up. That's how I ended up getting
Oh.
blown up. Is we were casevacing her and her family.
shit.
And
There was a medic with you, right? The staff sergeant.
yes, I can't remember his name.
Yeah. And they were like giving him crap because he was a male and trying to treat a female.
Yes,
Yeah.
mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we were going to take them back up to I think Talocan to drop them off.
Yeah.
And then they were going to get medevaced out, but then we got blown up.
I think she had a kid too. Did she have a kid?
The whole family was with them.
Damn.
Was
dude.
it a
the
Willie
whole-
Pete or was it smoke that
I don't know.
set their
I don't
little,
know,
their
man.
little hood on fire? I can't remember.
She
I just
was-
remember we did a bunch of those like casevac missions, like because it happened a bunch of times. It was either like, friendly mortars or this or that, or they tripped and fell as we went through or whatever. Like we casevaced 3 or 4 people, and finally they were like, guys, we have to stop this. Like there's only one way in and out of this freaking, riverbed, and we've already been blown up once. Like if we keep doing this, someone's gonna die.
How was the recovery for that vehicle?
Fucking forever.
Really? Okay.
It took forever. Because we got blown up and it was huge, and we're like we can't get out. So we had to wait in this like blown out vehicle for I don't know 30, 45 minutes for
Smoking a
EOD to get
cigar.
there.
I think I saw you guys. You guys got a photo.
Oh yeah, we're
Smoking a
smoking
cigar.
cigars and joking and playing tunes
That's
loud.
awesome,
We were-
man. More
yeah.
power to you guys. Fuck
So-
that, dude.
So finally EOD comes, they clear it out, say we can get out. We get out, we look at it, we're like, oh my god, like because we couldn't tell from inside how bad it was.
Yeah, yeah.
We get out, we're like, fuck.
It's huge. Big boom.
Then they brought like the wrecker out, and the wrecker pulled us out, and they brought all the strikers and gave us a ride back to Sperwan Ghar. We're like, hell yeah, we're back at Sperwan Ghar.
Get in that vehicle and go back.
And they're like, that's your truck. We're like, what?
Wait up.
Wait,
can you
what?
go
They're like,
eat
you're
the
gonna drive.
defac?
You're gonna drive over to Talocan. They're gonna do your TBI screening, and if you pass, you're going right back out. I'm like,
Was there
Nice.
a medic in the aid station at the time?
No.
Everybody was out.
everyone was
right?
out. We had to actually. Captain Cottrell was at the battalion, the forward. They had like a
Oh.
forward base set up right up by Talocan.
Yeah.
So we had to go there, and that's where we got. It was Captain Cottrell that checked me out, and checked us all out for TBI and all that stuff. And once we passed, we're like, all right, you're going back. We're like, cool. Which way? They're like, the way you just came. We're like, oh, the same road. They're like, yeah, same road. We're like,
Dude,
dude, you
the
gotta be
balls
kidding
you
me.
guy have, man. If I get blown up, I don't know, bro. I'd be like, I need a couple days.
Well, it was Kitching that finally shut that down.
Oh, really?
So, because it was, I can't remember who it was. Someone was like, yep, go back down the same road. We're like, what?
You were with the XL, right?
We were with the XO. Anyway, it was Kitching that shut it down. He's like, hey, we are not going to drive right back through the same thing.
Yeah.
Which actually caused us a bit of a headache because we had to like go further. We had to like find this like back roads all the way through here to meet up with you guys at your overnight spot. And like we almost died like 7 times rolling over in ditches.
Oh, that compound?
That compound.
Where they took a shit? Yeah. Okay.
Yep, we're a 3rd platoon that just got into a hell of a gunfight,
Yeah,
and we
we
just
took
rolled
over.
up and like we pulled security so everyone could
That
sleep.
was like in the middle of the open
Yeah,
it was
area,
right in the
too.
middle, yeah.
I was like,
I
what
can't
the
believe
hell?
you guys drove trucks in there. I mean, I didn't think a donkey could get in there, much less one of those mad fees.
Were you guys surprised when we rolled up?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe it because you guys were moving further north, and I was looking north of there and seeing these little skinny roads, and I'm like, for one, they're gonna get blown the fuck up, and then for two, it's like how are they even gonna get the vehicles in there? But y'all did.
Yep.
My
You just got
masterful
lucky,
driving
man.
skills is
Yeah.
how we did it.
Got lucky.
Yeah.
Did you have your license then? Or
I had my license.
Okay.
I was
civilian license.
I was like 29 years old. Of
okay,
course I
but
had
you
my
never
license.
drove a military vehicle.
No, that's true. My first military vehicle was MV.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Matt
Here you
V.
go. Here's your license. But Sergeant, I
Yeah.
never drove. Yeah.
Well, that was
Yeah.
Perez's story. Perez had
Was
never
that-
driven a vehicle ever. He didn't have a
Yeah,
civilian
he didn't
driver's
have a
license.
civilian
He
driver's
didn't have a
license.
permit. He didn't have shit. The first
Yeah.
vehicle Miguel Perez ever drove in his entire life was an
Fucking
MATV.
Matt V. Yeah, hit
And
that
he crashed it the first
big
time
ass
out.
wall. I'm pretty sure I was a
Yeah.
passenger in that vehicle, and I was like,
Oh man, that'd be terrifying.
We remember they tried to give him a hard time.
Yeah, it's
They're
either
like, why'd
hit-
you run
yeah.
into that Hesco? It's like, hey, why'd you give the guy who's never driven a 19-ton MATV on his first
Yeah.
time out?
you
Fuck you.
control
gotta-
the equipment. I was like,
Yeah,
really,
that
dude?
you've got to drive looking through a piece of glass that's about the
this
size
big.
of a computer screen.
Yeah, you can't see
You
shit.
can't see shit in
No.
that thing. That's
I
crazy.
almost had a rollover and at night one time.
Yeah, we
And it
never
was
did
when-
have one. Huh? That's surprising.
close.
Yeah, that's
We came real close. It was that the useless air assault, the throwaway air assault to Big Reggae.
Oh, I remember. Oh, yeah, that's right. The one that we put together so that 3rd Platoon could feel special.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember we air assaulted in the Big Reggae?
I only remember 2 air assaults.
There was
This
the
is
third,
the third one.
This was the last one we did.
We weren't on.
We
the
weren't
actual
on it.
air
We were in
assault.
trucks. They air assaulted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They air assaulted
So-
into a secure LZ that we'd already secured with our trucks.
So I almost rolled my truck over that night because we were going through Big Reggae and there's that big wadi just north of Big Reggae on the other side of the road.
It's hard to see.
And we were trying to and it was under nods. I was working
Of
through
course,
my screen,
PBS
you know.
14.
Yeah, and I was trying to turn the truck around to head back to Sperwan Ghar, and no, sorry, this wasn't the air assault mission. This is a different mission, but this is a mission. We were the blocking position to the south, and then we turned around to go back to Sperwan Ghar, and I was driving along, and I was making that turn, and all of a sudden I felt the side of that truck just shift, and I was like, oh shit, and we even said roll over, but we didn't roll over, and I don't know how I did it. But I put her in 4-wheel low and just kind of chugged it up out of that wadi. I mean, I'm talking, we were close, man.
Oof.
And I managed to get it back up onto the road, and we went on down through there.
Them
Were you the
driving
lead truck?
skills.
I can't remember. No, I don't think so,
Yeah.
because the lead truck was up ahead, and we might have gotten pulled out. I can't remember.
Yeah.
What I do remember though is once we got out of the ditch and driving back to Sperwan Ghar in the means of we were joking around on the platoon comms about everything, and my helmet had kind of knocked up and it switched over to the company net. About 600 or 700 meters to the north, 3rd was creeping up on these 2 dudes that were trying to creep up on 3rd in the middle of the night, and me and Tom Evans were going back and forth on comms. And he used to call me Sling Blade because of my accent, you know. And so as I'm joking with him about that, and we're going back and forth on comms, my helmet hits the knob on the radio, switches it over to company. And I say, I sure do like them French fried taters. Mm. And then he kind of made a joke, and I said, biscuits and mustard. And then Jeremy Hedden comes on. He goes, be advised, you're on company net. Man, I reckon Kitching was fucking pissed, man. He was pissed because they could hear us, but I couldn't hear Kitching. And later on, Jeremy told me that Kitching was just like, who the fuck is on here? Because they were trying to move on these 2 dudes. So I love this idea of Brian Kitching in the middle of this great field trying to be all high speed and ranger, sneaking up on these 2 dudes, playing cat and mouse with Taliban, you know, in the middle of the night. And he's got his Peltors on, and he hears, I like them French fried taters. I should have told him that. I should have mentioned that story to him when we went to
Your
saw him.
podcast, yeah. Hey, you
Yeah, I
remember that
totally
shit? That was me. You're
Mhm.
welcome.
I totally forgot about that.
That's funny.
Anyways,
Man, we went way down the rabbit hole. What the fuck are we even talking about right
I
now?
don't know, man. We gotta get things
You're
back
gonna
on
have to
track.
edit this and pick the medical
Yeah,
piece.
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
okay,
can tell we're out of
we were talking
practice.
about the horn and getting blown up, and then
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
So other than the guy that you treated in our first firefight,
Yeah.
that was your first casualty you treated outside the wire,
outside
right?
the wire, yeah.
And then you didn't have another one until Pinnacle and Lily?
I don't. No, maybe no. There were like 3 before Pinnacle and Lily.
Okay.
Remember that the same op, same day. Yeah, because I remember that day. I treated 5 casualties that day. Yeah, because it's a 3-day
the
op.
Afghans that
yeah,
got
the
blown up.
Afghans.
Right.
Yeah, going to that compound. We were like driving that gator. We parked it. We got into that compound. We took a break. I remember closing my eyes, and I just feel, and I heard a big boom, right? Boom, and I felt stuff falling on me. I remember looking at Hewlett, and he just goes, "Ah!" In my mind, I thought we were getting hit by mortars, right?
Right.
And I was like, holy fuck. Then we go out. Afghan guys drove a Humvee, hit a big IED. I think by the time I got there, they already got pulled out. Another medic was treating them. And I think during our live, we talk about this one. And yeah, I remember yelling at the medic. I felt like such an asshole, man. I'm sorry.
Whose medic was it?
It wasn't ours. It was another company, but definitely 164 medic.
Really?
I think it was because it was a joint op. Was it Charlie Company that was out there? It was a joint op.
Oh, you know what? They might have been, now that I'm thinking about that. They were to our west, weren't they?
Yep.
Or to our east.
Somewhere.
Something like that. Yeah,
But-
I forgot about that.
Yeah. There was another medic there from 164 from another company. And he was treating him. I remember seeing his aid bag just laid out, right? Good dude, good medic back in the rear, but I don't know if that was his first casualty, but he
Right.
was just freaking out, right? So I go in there, treat these guys, help him treat these guys. I think one was like 2 broken legs, right? I think that was the driver, either the driver or the passenger. One of them like messed up face from, that was definitely the driver, hitting the steering wheel. The passenger hit, both legs, partially amputated, right, broken. And then I think the other guy was like riding in the back as a gunner. And really nothing, like maybe TBI.
Right.
That was one that I thought I was going to do a crike on, the facial one. But then by the time I decided to do that, the bird was already landing. So got him out of there. Yeah. And then, Pinnacle and Lily, just after that.
It was like not even an hour later, wasn't
Not
it?
even.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was bad.
And we've talked about that one a little bit, but from the medical perspective and without going into unnecessary detail, what were some of the challenges that kind of came up during that whole event?
Well, for Pinnock, the injury was just so high, right? By the time we got to him. Yeah, so I remember holding Nins. So we were sitting down because they were trying to blow this thing up. They found another IED. I think this was like the 10th IED of the day. And all I heard was, so Sarnaat went out, and all I heard was boom, right? And I thought it was Sarnaat. I was like, oh, fuck, he's dead, right? And I heard him screaming, call the medic. So I ran over there with Sarn Nins, so dusty, right? I couldn't see shit. I had to fucking grab him. And then, like, going over this curve, went over this tiny bridge, this path. There was like a river, like water, right? And I saw somebody just, I don't know if he grabbed my leg or something, right? All I saw was some person, and he said, help. And I was like, oh, fuck. So went down there, grabbed him. It was Pinnock, right? Double leg amputation, super high, right? He was like gray already. Put tourniquets, right? Started bagging him because obviously he couldn't breathe.
And by bagging him, you mean is that
like the BVM, help him breathe.
Okay,
right?
gotcha. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I gave that to Akoa, and then gave him IV, maybe IO, pushed some fluids. Then I look over because I was hearing something. And it was like, help, right? Medic. And I look over and I'm like, okay, I see a leg. I went over there. It was Lily, right? Injuries were, yeah, pretty sure he was amputated. But it's just, yeah, everything was open, right? I don't know if it's the left or the right, but put tourniquets to control the bleeding on the extremities. But I had to pack, man. I used so much gauze. I'm pretty sure I used all my gauze. I don't think I even had time to put like fluids because I was just packing, right? There was just so many bullet holes, chest, armpit, right? Like you can't control that with a tourniquet. You can't control the groin with a tourniquet. Right. So you control the legs, try to like put pressure on the arteries, control everything, but it was just so many, right? So much.
Right.
And I remember yelling at persons. I was like, "Hey, you got to call the fucking medevac now, right now!" And he was like, "Because I think
he had his bell rung pretty bad." Yeah.
Everybody in that area. So and the birds came and brought him to the bird. I think there was 2 medevac, one per. And
I mean, were you thinking that either of them was going to make it? Or were you pretty sure?
I was pretty sure Pinnacle wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
Because just, it was so high. And like BP, I couldn't feel any, like radial pulse. That means your BP is lower, your systolic BP is lower than 80. So there's not enough perfusion to keep your organs alive, right?
Right.
Obviously had carotid pulse, super weak, man. He was just ash.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, so I had to save who I could, right?
Yeah.
So I ran over there and did what I could. So.
And that's an interesting aspect of like a field care. Is there's a limit to what you can do, like on a really severe injury. If he's breathing on his own and he's all that kind of stuff, then there's nothing else that you can do other than tourniquet up and
Control
pack.
bleeding, yeah.
And there's without a surgical center and as wonderful as you and the other medics were, there's limitations to what you can do. Just get them on a bird as fast as possible.
Now, if we had blood at the time, maybe. Right, but you still had to control. You had to find the bleeding on Pinnacle. If it's super high, can't control with a tourniquet. You would have to clamp, right? Like remember Black Hawk Down? It's like super high.
Mm-hmm.
You had to clamp and miss that thing. So you would have to do some other stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And is that something that they've adapted to recently? Do they carry blood?
Recently, yes. Like blood, yes. That's the new practice, right?
Okay, so field medics now carry blood with them, and they just carry, I guess, O positive, like universal donor.
Yeah. Just O.
Yeah. O.
Yeah. And then you carry like I don't know the protocols because I haven't done it myself. But you can carry O pos, low titer O, right? That's the new protocol now. O neg, O pos.
Mm-hmm.
But it needs to be tested, right? FDA approved, and then you can do a walking blood bank. That's really the biggest thing because you can only carry so much fluid for so long, right? It needs to be like cool, all that stuff. It can't be out hot and then put in the body, right? Yeah,
right.
So probably carry like a couple. So.
Then we say walking blood bank. Is that like where people on the ground would give blood?
Yes.
In a situation like
these
that?
These guys are pre-screened, right, before you even deploy.
Right.
Pre-screened for any kind of disease, whatever, right?
Okay.
They have a running roster. Hey, this dude is, for me, I'm APOS, right?
Sure.
If the medic calls for an APOS, I show up, draw one blood.
Oh, okay.
Can't give it for another 52 days, right? So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like a running roster. So I think, the Rangers did that one. I think it was called the Rolo program, something like that.
I mean, I think about that and like, thinking of 90-degree Afghanistan, if I give a pint of blood,
right,
I'm probably
depends on
fucked too.
Like what time frame? Like, is it the initial piece of your patrol, or is it towards the end when you're already like?
That's the other good point.
I mean? Like,
how good is my blood if it's completely depleted of oxygen?
You pull blood and then you just created 2 casualties.
Right.
So.
Interesting. I'd never heard of that.
It's pretty. I've yet to test it for myself. So.
I'd imagine
hopefully I don't have to do it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Army probably hasn't even had much of an opportunity to try that out.
Maybe not.
Probably not
the
conventional.
Line,
yeah.
Right? Maybe not
soft,
conventional.
Maybe.
Soft. Rangers for sure. They've done it.
They did it in Panjwai, didn't they?
I think that was that drove the program.
Yeah.
We adopted it. Right?
Mm-hmm. That real bad Moscow in Panjwai, yeah.
Yeah, that drove that program. But walking blood bank has been around for a while. But these are like FOBs, inside bases, right? It's controlled.
Sure. Right.
So.
Interesting. Yeah. So you were pretty sure that, Pinnacle wasn't going to make it and Lily wasn't looking too much. Because, I mean, I know for most of the guys, they've just said, like, hey, we thought Lily was going to make it, but they weren't the ones treating him.
Right. Definitely I thought Lily was going to make it.
You did?
Right. I thought Lily was going to make it. Which he did for a couple of days. He was DOW, right? I don't know what happened in the hospital. But, I mean, he made it for a couple of days. Probably due to infection or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
it
just looks so bad. His injuries just look so bad.
Yeah.
But like I said, I use so much gauze.
Right.
Just probably all of my stuff,
I think that's the thing that I'm learning talking to you. I didn't realize the nature of his injuries were so close to his like core of his body. Like I thought it was an arm that had been amputated. I didn't realize that he had
Yeah.
had injuries
Everything was
on his
open.
actual
Yeah, it was
torso.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
so
that
I was like, I
changes-
didn't
that
even know
changes
at the time. I was
everything.
like, am I gonna like, you know what I mean? I'm a brand new medic. I'm like, oh, this is my like, I don't know, 5th casualty since I've been here. And I'm
Right.
like, oh my god. I just remember like, hey, HABC, stop the bleed, right? Go to airway. He was screaming, so his airway is open.
Mm-hmm.
Really, no, maybe peppering on the chest. So I put like chest seals and then try to stop other bleedings because there's no point of pushing fluid if you didn't stop all the bleeding.
Right.
It's just gonna go.
Right.
So-
Right. And you found out when the rest of the platoon found out that he didn't make it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, same.
A couple days later.
Yeah, I remember talking to Sarnat. I was like, "Hey, we're going to his memorial."
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's not even an option. You know what I mean?
I was glad that we did as a platoon.
Yeah.
Go to their service.
That was in Zangabad, right? No, Mazamgar.
Mazamgar.
Yeah, Mazamgar.
Yeah.
Up the hill. Yeah.
Because his squad leader was with us when that
Yeah,
happened.
that's terrible. He was with you guys?
Yeah.
Or okay.
So we were already at the overnight site when it happened,
Yeah.
and he was with us. And then we sent a group to help
us
you guys out.
Yeah.
But
It was a crazy day, man.
mm-hmm. And this was only a couple days after we had lost Lux.
That's right. Right.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
2 days later,
Yeah.
really. So I know, like, as the group of medics, you guys were already kind of on edge. You just lost somebody. That was your first major casualty, injury, or KIA for the deployment for our own guys. And I know Burner took it pretty hard. So I'm sure him taking it hard resulted in everyone else taking it pretty hard because you guys look up to
of
him. He's
course,
experienced.
Yeah. And that's the thing, that those things, man, like if you see some, like, senior guys just break down, I'm like, oh my god.
That's how you know it's bad, right? If the guys that have been through some shit are dealing with some bad shit, then it makes you kind of. That's why it's almost better to be inexperienced.
I
to
think
be
that was like one of my saving graces. Was
agreed.
like, I was a brand new dude, didn't know what, first time in combat,
Nothing to measure it against.
nothing to measure
Yeah.
against. So yeah, maybe that's why I stayed the whole time. I don't know.
It's
I just got lucky.
Because you're crazy like we are. At what point did you kind of realize that, okay, maybe this isn't normal? Maybe this is, maybe we are experiencing maybe a little bit more than our fair share. Or was it not? Or was it like us? We didn't realize until like 10 years later.
Like, yeah, I didn't know what normal was, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But over there, I know I had my moments of weakness, right? Because of thinking about family and stuff like that. Yeah, like internally, I was pussying out. But
I think we all did internally.
We all were.
yeah, I was like, you know what? If not me, then who, right? Who's gonna do it if I don't
Right.
go there? Think about my fellow medics. They got family, right? I just got married. I was like, whatever.
Right.
The moment you accept that thing, that you're probably gonna not make it. I think at that time my performance was like, okay.
Yeah.
But I was also so pissed, man. The amount of casualties that we've treated, and the preventable amount of casualties that we've treated, I think that shit fucking ticked me off.
Right.
Because it's preventable, right?
Sure.
There's just no way. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. It gets to you, especially when you see, I'll mention Frost as an example, and this wasn't necessarily his fault. He was brand new. He was on his very first patrol, stepped outside the lines, lost his leg. Preventable, right? All you had to do is stay on the lines. But at the same time, he's a brand new guy. He's learning.
Yeah.
How awful were we our first 2 months? Walking on the roads, not paying
Roads,
attention,
man.
not marking the
Yeah.
path.
What's that, Mark?
Yeah, like we weren't doing it. If we did what we did in March and April and August, we would have lost 30
Sweat.
people, man.
Did you have a moment where I don't know, man. Like, what's the right way of putting this? Did you have a moment where you didn't know if you could just stick with it? Because as the medic, you're going to catch.
Yes.
So not only do you catch all the casualties, but you also have to double down on your aid station stuff. So you're seeing all this terrible shit. But then you go on every single patrol, so you're getting in all the firefights for a platoon instead of just the half the firefights for a platoon.
70 plus ticks, 90 plus ticks.
Yeah.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
was there a moment where you were just like,
Yes,
fuck, I don't know
definitely.
if I can make it?
And that's exactly
Yeah.
why Todd came over, right? Because I was like, hey, man, I'm pretty burnt out. I mean, I could still keep going, but I think we need another medic so we can rotate, right? Yeah. Everybody else in that aid station, everybody was burnt out. So we needed like new, fresh bodies. But it didn't really help. It did help, right? Because I was hanging out in the aid station. They'd be like, oh, there's an extra medic. Go to 3rd platoon. And I was like, what the fuck?
I'm supposed to be on break.
Look, God damn it. I was like, you know what? If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go with 1st platoon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell no.
So, going back, would Wallach have been your first platoon internal casualty you treated?
If he was our first casualty, then yes.
He was. I'm pretty
Then
sure he was.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, Jesse Wallach, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That night.
Yeah, I mean, a very challenging situation for a medic. Period. You know, dead of night. We're not where we're supposed to be. We're trying to be hiding
Under nods.
under odds. Dude is screaming.
Peltor's on.
Peltor's on.
Grape field, like grape rose.
You know, so many challenges that go along with like a nighttime injury like that. Where are you going to land a helicopter? Can you land a helicopter?
Right. And I'm glad there was an LZ there, but you know, those are super sketchy because you're like, okay, I feel like they're baiting you in, you know, like
Yeah, it's like, look at this perfect LZ right next to where we wanted to set our ambush
It
in.
felt
Yeah.
super baity. And that was a tight LZ, too.
Yeah.
Man. It was small. Like, I honestly, I can't believe they landed the Blackhawk there.
Was it small? I thought it was a
It
pretty
was
big open
super.
field.
I wasn't there, so I don't know. I mean, I was
my
there, but I
memory
wasn't
of it,
there.
of course, granted, I was down in the Grape Rose
Yeah.
looking up at it, so it might have been bigger back in behind them, but it looked super small.
It
From
could have
where I
been
was
small,
at.
yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause all I remember from that mission is him screaming.
Right.
So, like,
Mhm.
we were patrolling, and then I see this big flash. I'm like, what the fuck? I feel stuff falling on me, and they started calling for a medic. I had to take off my liberator because I can't hear shit. So I ran over there, and then he was screaming like crazy, man. I was like, what the fuck? He's dead. Like, he's gonna die. And then
Yeah.
we grab him. I was like, okay, it's like a broken ankle, maybe a shoulder. Like, I'm pretty sure I put a tourniquet, and then, like, realizing the injury was not that bad, I took it off, like, loosened it up, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because he was not really bleeding. It was like dislocated ankle, shoulder. And then, yeah, we were walking, and I remember jumping back like a little bitch because I think I passed over like a line of rocks, and somebody caught it, and they were like, "Duck, you're over the line of rocks." I looked down, and I'm like, "Ah!" So and I grabbed Kohler. I was like, "Oh shit!" But I think that line of rocks was for that IED.
Oh,
But-
right,
but-
right, right. That
makes
sense,
yeah.
Yeah, I remember because I was in the Grape Row with Luke. I think I was right by you actually.
I think so.
And
yeah.
there was the flash, and it wasn't a very loud boom, but it was a boom.
No, it's pretty low key.
Because
And
you
then-
had
but
your,
then- but then
you
you
had
just-
your Peltors on.
I didn't have-
You didn't have.
PFC Grace didn't have no fucking Peltors.
Are you
Come on,
sure?
No,
man.
man. We didn't have a
I don't know why I had one because I had a radio.
Because you had a radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And more people than normal had radios on that mission.
On that mission, right? Just
Right.
because of the nature.
Because of the nature of it, yeah. But I didn't have one, that's for sure.
No, I didn't have one either.
But I remember like all these rocks and like
Yeah.
dirt just like falling all
Like,
over
what
us.
the
I'm like,
fuck?
what the fuck? And then I'll admit to this day, like Wallach's scream haunts me to this
Yeah,
day.
dude. I
Yeah, it
can
was-
hear it. I can see it. I can
Mhm.
see like the pre-dawn gray
Yeah.
of everything, and yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah. It was bone chilling.
Mhm.
And
That's why I thought
I
he was like.
thought he was in pieces, man.
I thought he was too.
I
yeah.
thought he was in like 6 different pieces. The way
Yeah.
that he was screaming,
He got
and
lucky.
for his sake, I'm glad that he wasn't. But if I ever see him again to this day, I'll always make fun of him for screaming like a little bitch when he twisted his ankle.
I mean, to be fair,
He stepped
I
on
mean,
an IED.
yeah, he did step on a freaking
he stepped on an
IED.
IED.
He did. But oh
Yeah,
man.
I'd
so
probably
he's
scream like a
probably-
little bitch, bro. I'm like, "Ah!"
yeah.
But then
He's
you contrast it with Clark when he stepped on his legs missing, his fingers are fucking gone. He's looking over and calling Pierce a little bitch.
Maybe because he couldn't feel.
yeah,
All his nerves were gone.
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah,
Fair enough.
that's true. And Wallach broke his leg in like
He looks
multiple
down. He's like,
places
"Where's my
from
leg?"
that. Yeah, but yeah, I mean the scream, man.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, it was-
like,
it was
I think
pretty
every
hard
on that patrol thought he was
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah,
I
it was
definitely thought he
blood
was
curdling. It really was like the
Yeah.
definition.
Yeah. Sent somebody to grab him and treat him, landed that bird. Good to go, and we had to go back.
And he walked onto the bird.
He did.
Did he walk on the bird?
He like limped.
He walked onto it, man. Well, he limped, obviously, but he didn't. He was unassisted. He walked himself onto the bird.
He was fine.
Because he was so fucked up on fentanyl
That's
lollipops.
true,
He was just like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna walk on the bird.
Well, that mission, there's a lot of actually interesting memories associated with that mission that I forget about all the time. It was one of the first missions where we did like something deliberate, like something swoopy, right? Like we knew that they like to hang out in these orchards, so we were gonna put 2 squads in. We were gonna sneak in there in the cover of darkness, and we were gonna catch them in the morning when they went to go get their stuff. We launched from the DC, from the Special Forces compound. They were helping us out with that one. I think the intel even came from them.
Yep.
And like full face paint and everything.
Face
like,
dog tags taped up.
Yep.
We didn't know what the fuck we were doing. Like, is this dark on the highs? Is
It's like, I can't remember my EIB training.
Right? Everybody's camoed up. Half the people, like you're right. I remember that actually. That was like Wallach told us later that part of the reason he walked down the path that he wasn't supposed to be walking is because he was wearing Peltors and he couldn't hear somebody telling him to stop. And which is valid. If you don't have the batteries in the Peltors, the hear-through option doesn't work.
Yeah, the electronic piece.
Yeah,
that's
doesn't
supposed
work.
to like amplify things.
You have to turn the thing on. But we're just dumb privates. We don't fucking know.
Yeah, put that shit on your head.
So a whole lot of people were wearing Peltors. We did this like super slow, sneaky infill. We were supposed to hang out in this pomegranate orchard all night and wait for these dudes to come grab their shit in the morning.
We had claymores. We had claymores.
Yeah,
We
that's
were gonna
right.
set up
That's right. Bali put claymores.
Yeah, we were gonna put claymores.
Did we
out.
pick them up? Like, did we pick them up?
We hadn't even put them out yet.
Oh,
because
we
we were
No,
just
yeah.
getting there.
Okay.
We were literally at the edge of that orchard because we went back the day that Curtis he catted. We skirted that orchard. No, wait, no, that
so
was
famous,
beforehand.
man.
That was before that. That was before that because Wallach was on there. Anyway, we'll edit that out. Anyways, point is, we were literally at our ambush site.
Yeah,
except an IED. Like we
That
were
was a
moving
long walk,
into
too.
the orchard on the opposite side of the road to set up.
Yeah, it was, and then we're like in our super secret spot where a Black Hawk just landed. A explosion had just gone off. Everyone's using white light to try to treat Wallach.
Oh yeah.
Like obviously,
We're already compromised. Fuck it.
yeah.
Get
So
this
we just
shit.
went back.
Yeah.
So we're just like chilling at the Najat checkpoint, like drinking Gatorades, buying Cokes from the fucking ALP while
the locals.
Stuart and second squad are sucking dick
Sucking.
for beer money.
Sitting in this pomegranate. And
Just
meanwhile,
chilling over there.
third's getting fucked up.
Yeah.
Like in a good firefight. Second sitting there not seeing a soul because of course they knew we were in their
we were
damn
there.
pomegranate orchard.
I forgot. Yeah, third platoon was to the south, weren't they?
Yeah,
This was
man,
like
they
an
got
elaborate. I forgot how
company
elaborate this whole
officer.
thing was. Yeah.
They got into a pretty good little firefight. Like the whole idea was like third was like we were in the easternmost pomegranate orchard, and then second squad was in the westernmost
Right.
pomegranate orchard, and then third was moving
From the
north
south.
between
Yeah,
us.
that's right. That's right.
And so the idea was that they would come into the pomegranate orchards to hit third, and we'd fuck them up
Schwack.
on their way in.
it was a good plan.
Damn
It was a great plan.
Damn it. Thanks, Wallach.
Even the best laid plans
Yeah.
do not survive contact
That's
with
right.
man.
First contact. But didn't second squad actually wrap somebody up though? So they did get somebody.
Did they?
They didn't stitch
I don't
him up,
remember
but
that.
I
they
think they brought him
arrested
back
him.
to the
Yeah.
Because I tell you what, another memory I have from that operation was when Column actually got on the ground instead of sitting behind 14 inches of fucking steel like a pussy. And that was when after that mission is when he okayed.
Yeah, all the
Like I think he tried to make us wear fucking elbow pads or some stupid shit like that.
Elbow pads. I'm like,
Yeah, or knee pads. He
really,
was trying to make
dude?
us wear knee pads. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He was trying to make us wear knee pads,
Instead
and
of
he went
using the
on that
inserts.
mission.
Yeah.
And he started sucking dick for beer money, and he was like, you don't have to wear your knee
it's
pads
funny
now,"
how that
because he
works,
was-
right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
funny how that works. That's like 12 years of being in the army. I see it like at all levels, right? All these fucking higher ups, like, they get on the ground. They're like, oh yeah, you don't have to do that anymore.
Well, I know.
We've been telling you
can't
this
remember.
shit.
I can't remember who told me this story. And fuck Colin, we'll keep this in because he deserves it. But
That's fine.
he tried to throw a grenade.
Yes. That's
Yes,
the same
yes,
day.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And somebody basically literally wrapped him down. Was like, dude, don't throw it, because he was about to throw it in on some dudes from third platoon.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Oh, that's not the one that.
That's not the one where he threw the hand grenade
and
without
then
pulling the
fucking-
safety off.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's
Okay.
it. That's
That's a
it.
different
That's
one.
the
Yeah.
story. Yeah, he chucked the grenade, but didn't flip the safety off.
Yeah,
So
he didn't flip the
let's,
sun
let's-
safety off.
Yeah.
And then
Let's reset the
it like
stage, 'cause
sat
I want
in
this
the
to get in there.
ditch for like an hour, and then like
Yeah.
randomly an hour and a half later it blew up.
Yeah.
So they're like,
There goes that kid.
like that will edit out.
Oh, look, Dad! Look at this shit.
Yeah, somebody found that grenade and was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
what's this?" And then,
Boom!
Free grenade.
Pink mist.
yeah, somebody showed up to DC missing their hands.
Yeah. It's a
I
firework.
mean, that would have been a good operation. And I was like, I remember thinking, but what's funny is like when you look back on it, you're like, oh, that'd have been badass.
It could have
to
been
smoke
cool,
some
that
yeah.
could have been so. Yeah.
But then I remember the day of, when Wallach walked onto the bird, and I knew he wasn't going to die. I remember thinking like, oh, okay, sweet.
yeah, we're going back.
We're going back.
Because I remember asking that shit to. I remember asking Captain Kitching. I was like, "Hey, sir, what happens if we take a casualty? Do we stay or like we're compromised?" Right? There was really no answer, and
I think it would depend on the nature of the casualty for sure. You know,
And the
Yeah, but-
location.
and the
'cause
location,
That's what.
yeah.
Set, that's what
true.
set us up.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I remember Bally was on the horn with Kitchen being like, "Hey, dude, like we are literally right next to the pomegranate orchard. Our position is compromised." And Kitchen was kind of giving some pushback on it. He's like, "Are you sure? Like you can't get in there?"
Oh,
And
okay.
he basically told him like, "We're
Can't.
not going to do anything here because." Hey, I know what would have happened. We would have gotten into a close ambush and gotten fucked up if we'd have stayed.
yeah,
there.
because you guys were.
we were. Here's another thing I remember about that mission: we had no Afghans.
Ooh, we didn't.
We
did
did. We had no
Yeah.
Afghan partners because it was still technically a partnered op because third platoon was going to have the Afghans with
Afghans.
them, but we didn't want Afghans with us because we
To know,
figured
yeah.
they would know.
Yeah.
So both us and second were pure. It was one of the only 2 times I can remember that we were pure with
Just
no
Americanos.
Afghans
Yeah,
present.
that is true.
Yeah.
That's
Did we have
crazy.
a terp?
How we
I
haven't
don't think we
talked
had-
about this mission the entire
I
time.
don't
of
think
the
we had a
podcast.
terp. Did we have a terp?
We probably didn't. We had no need for one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had
No.
to. Somebody had to have had a terp to talk to prisoners or something if we came across somebody. So one of them had to be out
That was
there.
a pretty cool.
Jay
op.
might have been out there with us.
Whoever was with the PL would have had the terp for sure.
I think second had the PL.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because it was just Bali.
And
It
it
was
would have
just
been
Valley.
still persons at that time because we hadn't swapped over
it was
to
persons.
color.
Yeah,
yet.
it was
Yeah.
persons.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, I
pretty
mean
cool
that
op,
was
man.
that was a big time operation, and that was in the Jod.
Yep.
That was in the heart of
Was
the
that
Jod.
after what's his nuts got shot in the head? Burl.
After it was after
before-
Burl got shot in the
after
head
Burley got
because
fucked
Burl
up,
wasn't with
'cause-
us.
Yeah.
It was after my Heat Cat Day because
Oh, that's right,
no, it was
yeah.
before our
Because
Heat Cat
Wall-
Day. No, wait,
No,
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 it was after.
it was after.
because
So it
Wallach
would have been
was on that
Kohler.
patrol.
Kohler would have been with us. It wasn't persons
Yeah.
because
It's probably one of his first missions.
yeah, because
had
Heat
to
Cat
have
Day
been.
was
Yeah,
Heat
Wallach
Cat
was
Day.
still there because he almost fucking shot me.
Right. He almost shot you with a shotgun.
Shotgun. Yeah. So we did the engineers,
Wallach and
Wallach,
engineers.
right. Yeah, we did that. Him almost shooting me.
Yep.
You fucking passing out.
Me passing out in the cake batter.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. Thank you for not giving me a fast one.
Yeah, dude.
Ooh.
I almost did.
I know you did.
I almost
That
did.
kept- that's
I'm
what
pretty
kept
sure
me.
I told you.
You did. You said if you close your eyes one more time, I'm going to give you a fast one. I was like,
fast one.
I'm awake. I'm
That's
awake.
where you do the sternal notch. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sternal notch. Yeah, that's what they did. It wasn't Valley just beating the liver shit out of me, slapping me.
Wake up, dude. That shit was so. Dude, can you imagine? So, because we just got into a firefight.
Long one, a bad one, and we like my element. What you guys were staying put,
Yeah.
but it was
You guys were
me
up
and
front.
Cole. We were up front, so we're
Yeah.
like running up there and running back, and I got a saw, and I'm out of water. I just had like
And that was like
dudes
hours.
reloading their guns like right next to me around the corner. I'm like,
Yeah, hours into the patrol, right? Yeah, it was so
Yeah.
hot.
It was
Yeah.
it was way into patrol because
oh yeah,
Way
I
too
remember
we started late.
hopping. Yeah, it was late in the day when we started, and then I remember at one point I got really faint and kind of weak during the patrol, not very far from where Wallach got hit, like right around that orchard.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to kind of like waver a little bit, and that
Yeah.
was before we took contact. So that was
Yeah, I remember being out
It
of
was
water before we
so
even hit
hot,
that
yeah.
fucking contact.
Because we started at like 1400 or some
Yeah.
shit. And I was like, what
Because
the
we were going, and I can't remember the exact reason for the mission, but that we walked by where Frost got hit. That was the same day
That's
that Frost
right.
got hit.
That's right, yeah.
So
We
we
tried to change it up because we were always going out during the
Yeah.
day. So we're like, you know what, we're gonna go out in the afternoon.
But we had to be going for a certain reason because of
We were going.
frost getting hit.
I think we were going because the Aegis balloon was watching these
That's
two
what it
dudes
was.
with the PK.
That's what it was. Yep, that's right. It was an ambush. We were trying to get them to come out and fight us so we could shoot them with the Hellfire.
Yeah,
Yep, that's what it was.
Jokes on us.
Jokes on us.
I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Movement to contact. I was like, the fuck is that?
Dude, that was that was such a painful movement, man.
Brutal.
I don't think we spent 1 second on a path. This was right after we made that conversion. Like, we're gonna take the hard route every time. Like, we're climbing every fucking wall in that entire place. Then we get shot at, so adrenaline's through the roof, and then we fucking have adrenaline crash, and then we're like, all right, we're getting out of here. And we cross this wall, we come across this canal, and we look at this fucking flooded field. And I'm like, oh, fuck me. And I was already smoked. I was already getting yelled at for being smoked. They'd just taken my saw away because I was like passing out in the ditch. Like, I was barely coherent, and they're like, fucking take this M4. And they gave my saw to somebody else. So I was already hurting. They knew I was hurting. I took like 4 steps.
Down like
Just
a sack
like-
of taters. Yeah.
Out.
I remember Perez going over there. I remember screaming. Grace is down. So Perez runs over. He tries to grab you. He sinks in. I'm like, oh, fuck. I go over there. I'm trying to grab it. Like, oh, fuck. I look over. Here's Coffee fucking cleaning his gun because it was buried in mud. I was like, looking around. I'm like, oh, my God. If you get into a firefight, we're dead.
done. We're
done.
so
Like,
done.
Yeah.
So done. And there was no way around that field.
No.
You had to
No.
go through it.
Yeah, you had to go through it. It's
Yeah.
a flooded field. And
Yeah.
everybody was fucking toasted. And that's when I got so mad at fucking Hall. This big-ass motherfucker. Just sitting there, man. I was like, yo, come help us out. Didn't do shit. So Jay, I was like, all that muscle.
Oh, yeah. I remember
all
Jay.
that
Yeah.
fucking muscle for no reason, man. I was like, this
Dude,
bitch.
Holt was hurting. That's
Man,
why he
I don't
didn't
give a fuck. He was so big, right? I was like, bro, all them working out in the gym for no reason. So Jay, our terp, had to take off his kit.
I remember
right?
that.
Expose himself.
Yeah.
And then try
And
to
that was
help us out.
that was the trick. The only way that you could get through that mud or anything was you had to take your shit off. So quite a few people took their stuff off,
And
actually.
then we had to call the mounted guys, Akoa and them, to come.
I remember Koa saving me. It was like my Black Jesus, man. Like, he just came in. He like
Fucking A right.
like, you know, the song from The Bodyguard. And I just see this, you know.
Carry you?
Oh yeah, he fireman carried me. I remember watching this, man. Like, the sun was like coming. It was like right behind him, so he was like, you know, blocking the sun with his body. He's just like walking towards me. He's like, I got you. He picks me up in his arms. I'm like, oh.
And then you realize, who the fuck is driving the vehicle? There's like just one gunner.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, when I went down and we're all passing out, right? I'm not the only one hurting.
Dude.
Everyone's hurting, and
The
everyone's
trucks
like
are the-
looking around. I'm
Yeah.
delirious. I have no idea where. And then all of a
We
sudden,
actually tried to call a bird for you.
I remember, and
Yeah,
he
we
got
tried to
fucking
call-
shot
it
down.
got shot down. It got
Yeah.
shot down. And I remember going back. So we did. I think I pushed fluids on you. I don't know. I remember putting ice on your armpits, right groins, and we went back. And I remember asking Captain Kitching, I was like, "Why the fuck did that shit got shut down? Did you know that he was a heat stroke?" He was like, "I didn't know that." I was like, "Yo, what the fuck? We're not just gonna call a 9-line to call a 9-line, right?"
Well, and it turns out the road was right there. We had no
Right,
idea.
the road was right
No
there.
Yeah,
Yes,
because I remember just being delirious.
but
and,
it was
like,
also Summerside.
it
Wasn't
was Summerside.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it was the paved part of Summerside.
Still.
But it was still
Um,
Summerside.
It's still Summerside. But I just remember I saw those trucks pull up. I'm like, it was like this moment of clarity. Like, I was like shrouded in darkness, but then I
Dude.
see these trucks come into view. I'm like, oh my God, okay, we're okay, we're fine,
Yeah.
we're gonna be okay.
Yeah. I mean, I had the same thing, man, because that mud was just sucking my boots off, you know.
Yeah,
And I started to go down. Like the reason my barrel was full of mud,
Because you
Sal,
went down.
is because I like when we hopped that wall, I just like collapsed, man, and I sunk my saw into the fucking mud. So I had to pull the barrel off the saw and was like trying to stick a twig through it because I was like, if we take contact, we're fucked, you know.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking,
Man.
like, slugging through that mud, and I remember thinking, like, oh my God, like, I think I was starting to black out even. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know if I can do this.
I'm gonna die.
And then the trucks pulled in, because I thought Summerside was a click away.
yeah.
And the trucks pulled in, and I was
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty
oh,
close.
God,
It's
like,
pretty
they're,
close.
Because we weren't
It
even
was like-
supposed to go to Summerside. We were supposed to continue
No,
going
no.
east.
No.
Yeah.
And it was going to be a lot further, but then they were like, hey, can the trucks get closer? And they're like,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah. And it was,
And
it
I
was,
just
it was
remember
a pretty big
being
risk for them to
so
drive down there.
relieved, man. I was like, oh, we can make it back.
And all these
You
fresh young bucks hop out of their trucks, out of their AC.
That was second squad, right?
Yeah, second squad.
Yeah.
Fucking
And they were all relaxed and fresh, and I remember they were cool. It's like to the touch. Like I remember touching like a
sitting
Koa's.
in the AC.
No, before we even got there, like when I touched his kit, it was so cold.
Yeah.
Because he'd been sitting in the AC. I was like, oh my gosh, come here.
Come give me a hug.
Yeah, that's a very specific memory.
It is though,
dude.
man.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
That says everything, you know.
And then on the drive back, do you remember asking me about my ex?
Did I?
Yeah, you're like,
Just to keep you up?
Think about your fiance, Grace. Think about your fiance. I was like, fuck that bitch. She cheated on me.
Oh, wait. Thanks, Grace, for passing out.
Hey,
Yeah, I tell
I'm here for you.
Yeah, I tell guys that shit all the time.
I mean, that's kind of like, for me, that's like the quintessential brutal Panjwai mission. You know, 115, 20 degrees, midday movement, full sun,
Full
close
humidity.
con-
And that's
Full
the other thing. It's
humidity.
Was
hard
it
to.
August? No, it was
Would have been
No,
July.
July.
Had to be July.
Yeah.
Early July.
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
Close
so
contact.
hot.
Like, I mean, I got hit from, so I've talked about before on the podcast, but I got hit from like fucking 20 feet away from a PKM just ripping on me on that mission. Like,
Yeah,
it
you could see
was a
it,
bad
like-
one. And
I
you guys,
remember like leaving my aid bag there because I had to fucking book, and I was like, somebody go grab my aid bag. I think Burl went or Wallach, somebody went.
Somebody went, yeah.
Burl was like, get in the fucking ditch, dog. I was like, what the fuck? All right, fine.
Well, and the thing that stands out about this, particularly about that mission, but I mean, just the infantry mission in general out there, a lot of people have endured, high altitude, right? That's a different
Right,
challenge. It's a lot harder to breathe, but no humidity, and hot, but not extreme heat. Then you have like Iraq, extreme heat, zero humidity. So you have all these different things, but it's like in Panjwai, you had high heat, high humidity, couldn't breathe because, there was no air, in these grape roads. Like, I don't know. I feel like physically it was so demanding, especially June, July,
And just
August.
like climbing up and down, dude. Like
brutal.
wearing your kit, like you land, there goes your quads, right?
Yeah.
Like, so when you go to the gym,
There was no one. I never saw anyone do cardio at the gym.
no, except for Duke. Duke
Yeah.
always ran, but going to the gym, I remember like working out my legs, and then we had to go on a patrol.
Oh no! Oh
And
god!
I was like, holy fuck, never again.
I made a mistake. Yeah,
Yeah.
arms
Never.
only. Yeah, upper body only at the
No
gym.
legs.
Yeah.
Gotta save your legs.
I didn't do shit.
I didn't go
we
to
went
gym
to
at
see, went to see Kitchen. He was like, "What were you doing for PT?" And I was like, "Going on patrol, dude." that
every
was
day,
my PT.
every day. What'd you do for PT?
Yeah, what'd you do for PT, sir?
Not a patrol.
He's like, it was on the board every day.
We
Didn't
love,
you see
we love
it?
you, sir.
We love you.
You
Hey,
watch your ice cream melt in the sun.
That's right. Remember that shit? That fucking whoever wrote that shit on that board.
Treat.
That shit was funny. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the first to admit, me in the gym at Sperwan Ghar was a rare occasion. That was when I was forced to go.
I didn't go one time.
I think I actually got on the rowing machine quite a bit for some reason. I don't know.
That makes sense. That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, because it doesn't really smoke your legs, but it is kind of a cardiovascular, and it gets a little bit of shoulder
We had a
work.
pretty good setup. We had like the lifting area, we had cardio.
It was a good
Yeah, it was
gym
a
for
really
I mean
good
what we
gym.
had.
Played
And we had the
fucking-
second gym too. If you really didn't like people, you could
was-
go down to the mortars gym, and there was always empty down there.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, there's
So
a
we
whole.
had three: the outdoors,
Mhm.
the MW, the actual gym with the TVs, the weight gym, and then next to it was the cardio area with the mat. And there's another one.
Yeah, it was all the way down at the mortar line,
Oh,
and it was like, and there's another MWR down there too.
yeah, that's right. That's where the mechanics were.
So we survived that day in Jot.
Yep.
You weren't out there for boys.
No,
You
I don't know
were
what happened there. I think Hollers was
Hollers was out there. Yeah.
Hollers was out there, but
Mhm.
I don't know why I wasn't there.
I think it's because we were supposed to go to CAF that day.
Okay.
So like they're like, hey, you're going to CAF. This is gonna be a quick patrol. I'm assuming there's like let Hollers do it,
Yeah.
and then you can get ready to go to CAF or something like that. I don't know,
Maybe or just bitched out.
because there were other people that weren't on that patrol either.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true. Yeah. Really just boys, because he was the Cobos, right? Third squad was out there. Was it third squad?
It was initially third or second squad out
Second
there,
squad.
and
Cobos,
then we were in the
that's right.
trucks, and then we
Went in there. Yeah, that's right.
They did. I didn't go. I was still driving.
That's right. Okay.
And then that was late July.
Yep.
Or maybe it might have been early August. Might have been early August. And the next was Clark, and you were out there with us for Clark.
Yeah, but for boys, like I remember, I think I was coming from the gym, and I was walking out, and I see first sergeant call him. He's like, "What the fuck, man? Go to the aid station." I was like, "What the fuck?" It's like your roommate just got shot, and I was like, "What?" It's like Eric, boys, like my roommate. He was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh shit," right? And I think Rudy had the radio and was listening in, all that stuff. So he came over. I remember seeing him. His fucking balls were just blue.
Gigantic.
Yeah, gigantic. And everybody was making fun of him. Like, well, at least you got a kid. Because he just had his baby, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, he's like high on the fucking
fentanyl lollipop. So the fentanyl lollipop, does it taste good?
I've never tried, so I don't know. Ask boys. You might remember.
Yeah, I need to ask somebody. Because, it doesn't look like it tastes good. It looks like a metal ball.
Yeah.
Like, but is it? It's got to have a flavor to it. I mean, I'd hope.
Sugar.
I'm not sure.
But I mean, after like a couple licks, I probably don't give a
That's
fuck.
why you put it there, right? You tape it. The idea is like, it just falls out when you're high as fuck. So. Yeah, so that's what he did. You're not supposed to chew on it, I don't think.
I'm sure if you chewed on that thing, you'd fucking overdose. Be like, boom.
Yeah.
800 micrograms. So, I don't know. I've never tried. I was anti-drugs, right? Like knocking people over, because to me, if you were screaming, I knew you were alive.
Right.
Your airway was open, right? I could talk to you, right? If I fucking put you out, it's like, okay, that's another thing. That's another thing I got to worry about, right? Like if I give you drugs, I'm like, your BP might just go down.
Right.
It's just part of the freaking side effects, right? I'm like, I never really messed around with drugs a lot.
Yeah, there were only a few times I
I'm pretty
remember
sure I did,
seeing them. We didn't give one to Clark.
We didn't. I'm pretty sure I pushed morphine.
Yeah, I think
You
yeah.
did.
Yeah, I pushed morphine for Clark, yeah.
We didn't give a lollipop to Perez. No, we did give a lollipop to Perez.
Did we?
Yeah.
In the aid station.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, because he was like, whoever puts my baby in the corner. Or
he was talking shit to the
nobody
commanders. So they're like,
puts
here, just take your...
We just watched, what's that movie?
Dirty
Dirty
Dancing.
Dancing, that's right.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
I was like, what
shut the fuck up,
I
Perez.
was laughing, dude. I was like, oh my God. It's like his saw in the corner. I'm like, shut up, dude.
I know we gave Todd one, but only because Todd specifically requested it, and it came out of his pack.
Okay.
You're like, here, fine.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, the medic asks for the fucking
Yeah,
lollipop.
of course.
Hell yeah. He was like, time to get
I
fucked
see
up.
what you're doing over there.
Yeah.
Man, dude. That deployment. It's a good time.
Yeah. A major mission that we were trying to get as many viewpoints about, especially this season, is Throat Chop. So obviously, that was a pretty bad one for the platoon, just because, I mean, within a matter of, I don't know, a couple of hours, we went from pretty well staffed to 0 NCOs. You were kind of in the back on that one, weren't you? Or were you? Where were you at?
I'm pretty sure I was in the back. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was with you. Actually, I think I was with you.
Kind of in the middle.
Back,
yeah.
Middle back, and I think Todd was up front because we kind of split it up, right? 2 medics. How do we start that mission? Air assault?
Well, yeah, that was that. We air assaulted
On the 3rd.
and you were with 2nd Squad, I think, initially.
Yeah.
With Nintz
with
and
Akoa?
And Koa, yeah. So you were
was that the compound?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so you were a little bit to the south. So we did the two infills. You guys to the south, us to the north. You guys kind of moved into that compound and set up like an overwatch. And we started clearing that village or whatever it was. And then obviously with that big gunfight.
Yep. Like by that marijuana field. Dude, I hate marijuana field, man. Just walking around, right? You can't see shit.
No.
And you're like, achoo, achoo.
Well, and you think there'd be some novelty behind it. It's like, oh, look at all these tall weed plants. Yeah, after one trip through the weed field, you're like,
It's
okay,
terrible.
now it's kind of sucks.
Yeah, and you got fucking Boyce's antenna just whipping all over the place. Here I am.
Yeah, right.
Come shoot me. Yeah, thanks, boys.
Yep.
I love you. But yeah, got into that firefight, right? And Akoa got hit.
Well, that was the second day.
Was it the second day?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the first day that ANA got hit.
Yeah, first day the ANA got hit.
Was he the only casualty?
With us, yeah.
Okay.
117 had some casualties over to the, I guess that would have been the west. We had some minor stuff. I think we had a separated shoulder and a couple TBIs. And then the next day we rolled out, followed the Minotaur for a while. It got blown up a couple times, and then we just walked. And then I got shot at.
That's right. Yeah. But your backpack.
Right. And then it was the weed field. And then coming out of the weed field is where Koa got shot.
Yep. And then there was that ANA as well. So Koa, the ANA, tried to medevac him.
ANA missed his bird.
You guys have that video? I have that video. And I was like damn.
How'd you just not get on, dude?
It was, you know what?
They were shooting at the bird. That's why he ducked down and the bird took off without him.
I remember rewatching that shit multiple times just to like reassess the injury. I'm like, what is that? Was it a gunshot wound or was it like a scraping wound? Right?
No, he was totally fine.
I really didn't do anything for it.
For the ANA guy?
Yeah,
he didn't.
I think we wrapped it. And
it was a head wound, wasn't it? Like we wrapped his head.
There was like something on his arm.
Oh, was it? Okay.
And I remember looking at it and I was confused at the time. I was like, should I fucking pack this? But there's nothing to fucking pack. Like I just wrap it or let it be, right?
Well, I remember we weren't even going to medevac him and the ANA were freaking out. No, you got to get rid of him. They were so mad. We're like, fine, we'll put him on the fucking bird. And then he missed it.
Yeah. Remember that bird? Like landed in the wrong spot. I had to like,
and they're like, can you come to us? Like, well, fuck you, motherfucker.
There's a big ass wall. Oh man, but more power to those guys, man. Those guys landed really close, super close.
Yeah, because like on Todd's webcam or helmet cam, like he's up against that wall and it comes down, and like those tail rotors are like feet in front of him. I'm like, holy shit.
Yep, it's crazy. And then Akoa went in. Todd treated him, and then the ANA I treated. He missed the bird, and then and
they tried to get us to call another bird in. We're like,
nope.
No, sorry, bro, not for your scratch.
Nope. And then we had a detainee, right?
Oh, I believe you guys did, right? Yeah, I forgot about that.
He was like all blindfolded and shit.
Mm-hmm. And he was in the back with
Captain Kitchen, maybe. I don't know.
No,
Captain Kitchen was up the front.
Yeah, Captain Kitchen was up in the front with Dennison and Evans, Nagurn.
Oh, that's right, Nagurn up there. Yeah.
And then, so you were actually, I think you were fairly close to me when.
Yeah, I was with you
when they got blown up, and we heard that.
Yep.
And then I remember Todd ran up from the back.
Yeah, they called for medic, and I was in the back, and I think I screamed, "Todd, go!" or some shit. He went.
He paused briefly, like near you and I. He paused briefly. He's like looked around, like he wasn't sure what to do. You're like, no, go.
Yeah, and then it was like boom, and I was like, again, I was confused at the time because I just heard this big boom. And then another boom. So I looked over and this ANA was like telling me an American got blown up. And I was like, what the fuck? So went over there. We saw Todd. I sure shit wasn't going to go there because in my mind, right?
Right.
If I get blown up, we're really fucked. There goes two medics, right? And the guys up front, they're fucked.
Yeah.
And then what was going on in my head at the time, and ever since this happened, actually, I think Charlie Company, one of their units, their platoons, when they were evacing a casualty, they stepped on a freaking IED, right? And I was like, fuck that. That's not going to be me. I'm sorry. Right?
Yeah.
So, sent somebody over there. You guys dragged him back and we treated him.
Mm-hmm.
He was fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was lucky.
He's alive.
Yeah.
He's alive, Todd. Yeah, it was actually crazy. You saw his injury. His boot was intact, was it?
Mostly, yeah. I mean,
like just the back piece.
Like you could like fold his boot back and forth.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Like, so it was actually weird because I know we had to cut the boot off.
Yes.
To get the foot out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we probably would have ripped the top of his foot off. Trying to get it out.
Put a tourniquet there. Assessed. His airway was open. I don't think I put an NPA.
Yeah, he was quite coherent.
Fine and gave him my best IV, man. It was so fast. I was like, bup, first time go, like less than, I don't know, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever, right? It was like so fast. push fluids. I push fluids. Yeah, I push fluids on him. And then we went over, and while we were evacing him to that field, because we had nothing, right? We didn't have a mine hound. I don't think we did.
Oh, no.
We were just like,
I was clearing with my feet.
good luck. Get blown up.
I think I walked that path. Because once we were in the field, I knew we'd be good. But I think I walked that path from the point of injury to the field like 3 or 4 times, just like sweeping and stomping and like
and nothing, right? So
nothing. I was like, well, and then we carried him single file, if you remember correctly.
That's
so like
right.
one person in the front, one person in the back. That way,
Just in
minimize the
case,
footsteps.
yeah.
And then I know it wasn't you. I think it was me and Mayo. I think carried him. And you were a couple people back.
Yeah.
As all that was going on, like you're treating Todd, he has a bad injury,
Right.
but it's not
Right.
that bad. I mean, you can look at it, you're like, okay, he's going to lose his foot.
Right.
He's probably going to BK amputee, but he's going to be fine.
Right.
There was never any concern about Todd, really. I mean, unless maybe we're stuck there for 3 days.
Right.
Then,
It's like,
whatever.
damn
But
it.
at any point where you think like, hey, I wonder what's going on.
I
at the
was.
front.
Yeah, I was actually pretty worried. But knowing that Evans was there, he was basically our second medic because of his background, EMT. And the way we did our platoon, it was like, hey man, like we trained a lot of CLS stuff. I would have you guys carry like a lot of medical stuff, right? Fluids, all that stuff. But he was basically the other medic, right? And knowing that he was there, I was pretty confident he did a good job, right? He was going to do a good job, but I didn't know if he got blown up, right? So I was like, oh, fudge, right?
What I've thought about that too, and what I keep coming back to is like, after the initial call for medic, they never called for medic again.
Right.
After Todd got blown up, they never called
They
for
never
medic
called for
again.
medic again, right.
So in my mind, thinking back, like, okay, well, they had it under control.
Yeah, they had it under control. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because I was like, okay. They weren't really screaming, right? It was like pretty quiet. Called a bird. Was there 2 birds? Was it 2 birds?
So it was one. No, there were 2 birds. So the first time they came in, they waved off. The second time they came in, they landed, and their medic got off.
Yeah, got off. Yeah.
And then they took off.
Yeah.
Medic helped stabilize
Dennison?
and
Who was it?
Nagurn and Evans. And then it landed a third time. And that time, we put Dennison in from one side, but they were only supposed to load Dennison. Yeah. And I was like, fuck that. So I opened the other door.
We were trying to open the other door, and they were like trying to wave it off.
Yeah, I was like,
whatever.
fuck you, man. This guy's missing a leg.
It was closed, right? Yeah.
So we put him on, but it was only Dennison and Todd on that bird. And then it was Nagurn and Evans, I think, went on the next
They got
bird.
evac'd? I thought
Yes.
they
No, they got evac'd,
I thought they walked through this. But yeah, hey, those medevac guys, man, more power to those guys, because that field was so small, right, that when they landed, Robins's antenna got snapped because it hit the rotors.
Yeah.
It was that.
Wow.
It
And
was
I was like,
real tiny.
holy fuck. And the fact that the medic came out and we're like, what the fuck
And
is
he was
this guy
out-
doing?
Dude, he was out there with us for a while.
I was like, did they just leave you?
He left on, I think, the last bird with like Evans and Nagurn, but like
That was
mad
crazy.
props to that
Mad
dude.
props.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you know what that dude had to protect himself with?
Was it M9?
It's M9.
He didn't bring his M4.
He didn't bring his M4. Dude hopped off with an M9. He's like, who am I here to help? Like, bro.
Go get some gun.
Yeah, there's that guy there. He's pretty
all
fucked
this.
up.
So all these things, man, happening. So one of my biggest fears, like, this is one of them, is we hit an IED. We're treating in the middle of like an airfield, chaotic, and they fucking just come up and
Hit the bird.
Yep.
no, just schwack us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was so dense. You know what I mean? This the vegetation. You're like, what the fuck? Can't see shit. You're tired. You know what I mean? You're not thinking about pulling security really. You're helping treat. So I mean, yeah. Good thing they didn't do that to us.
That would have been their moment.
Yeah.
You know,
Don't do it.
once those birds were up, I mean, you had Kitching and Kohler, who were both fucked up. They were. I mean, they were so close. Their bells were rung.
Because it was like walls, right? Like around us.
Yeah.
It wasn't really open. It was like walls. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, so they didn't have where to go. They were rung. We were down to specialists, man. Like specialists were running the show. You know, it was Mayo and Phillips and Finally, Lloyd came up from the back, but he was literally the only NCO left.
He was the only NCO left, and he was brand new.
He was brand new to the AO. Like, he's on his like third mission.
I wonder what he was thinking at that moment, man. He's probably like, "What the fuck?
What the fuck?" Yeah, that's probably what he's thinking when he got back to the COP. Is like, "Am I the platoon sergeant now?"
Holy shit, that's crazy for a Sergeant E5, right? Brand new to the unit.
Yeah, and he was stuck in the back for most of it too, so he was completely powerless to come up and really do anything because
you can't.
You can't.
You know what I mean? Like, you maneuver, you just step one side, and you go poof.
Right. So he's like in the back, just like with a couple of guys, like, I guess we wait until we get up there and see what's going on. And I remember when he came around the corner and came up, I'm like, "What's up, man? What are we doing?" He's like, "What do you mean?"
You are the NCO. Yeah, we had to wait, right, to get
we had to get rescued.
We had to get rescued from
Yeah, how embarrassing.
QRF guys. Hey, man. Dude.
Had to get rescued. Yeah, I mean, if they, let's say, like, even like 3 or 4 Taliban gotten on the roof of that building, like, right across from us.
Yep.
What could we have done? We shot back.
That's it.
But,
you're stuck.
You're stuck.
And, like, mentally, right? You just hit 2 IEDs. Like, you're so scared to maneuver. You don't have a mine hound. Like, where are you going to go? Right? Like,
I mean, I certainly at that time wasn't thinking about the creek.
Right.
I was just like, where?
I didn't even know there was a creek there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until we went out, we went in the creek.
Yeah.
So.
Just.
Yeah, man.
Complete.
Dennis, yeah. Good thing those guys treated Dennison pretty well. Yeah. I don't think I touched Dennison. No, I don't think so.
No, he was on the bird before you. I think the first time I saw him was as he was being loaded on the bird from the other side.
Yeah, I think the image that I remember from that is him and Todd holding each other's hand.
Aww.
You're gonna make it.
Yeah.
Well, they did, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Coming out of that, was that frustrating for you? I mean, because Todd was essentially supposed to be there to be your replacement.
I think I was telling you this the other day. I was like, when he got blown up, I don't know if I said this to him, but I'm pretty sure I did, right? Because I fucking remember it. I ran to him, and I was like, "You were supposed to fucking replace me." This motherfucker. But hey, man, it is what it is, right?
Because after that, we basically like, well, we only have enough people to really fill a squad, so everybody's going on every mission now.
Right? Mm-hmm. And nobody else was going to come. No other medics was going to come because everybody else was in that aid station up in CAF, and you don't want those guys.
Did you guys try to get more people, or
we tried, but I'm pretty sure they said no, or we told Rudy not to bring more guys because, again, like it comes to like, hey, if we bring more guys, they don't know the tactics, right? They don't know TTPs, all that stuff. They're just gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Right. So it's either me or them. So.
Right.
I guess me it is.
Yeah. But I mean, for I guess the plus side is, that was October 4th. At that point we had about 60 days left in country ish. And things kind of they weren't really slowing down as far as the enemy, but we were, the new guys were a couple weeks out from getting there.
Really? That early? Like
they showed up in November sometime.
Like the guys replacing us?
Mm-hmm.
Really? That's pretty early.
So I remember spending Thanksgiving with them on a patrol.
Was I there?
I don't know.
Was that like on top of that?
Yes.
A big Yeah, you were like shooting the goose.
Yep.
Okay, that was Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Or maybe it was Halloween. I don't know. It was all in that time frame. Yeah. It would make sense it was closer to Thanksgiving because we left, I think, beginning of December
7th, I think we were back home, or December 3rd or something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've gone through, obviously all these stories and stuff. What kind of stands out to you as kind of like a central theme or lesson from like the deployment?
The deployment?
Mm-hmm.
You just got to be ready, I think, right? Like, you don't, there's this saying, you don't rise up to the occasion, you fall down to the level of your training, right? So that's why I'm so big on physical fitness, because it's the foundation of everything you do, right? If you're not fit, you can't function, you can't do your job, and everybody's got to carry your fucking shit, right? Everybody's got to do your job. Like, that's what I've been preaching. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's just the foundation, right? know your craft for sure, right? Just basic stuff, because you can have all these fancy things. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Right? If you can't put a fucking tourniquet on, then you can be the best IV dude. You can have access, but if you can't stop the bleed, then it does not fucking matter. So all these basic things, right? And I've been saying this shit for the longest time. There's a reason why the skill level 10 in the Army, the book, is like this fucking thick, right? 2, 3, 4 is like that thick, right? There's a reason why, because all those things are your foundation, right?
Right.
Even soft guys, right? They the basic stuff. They focus on the basic stuff all the fucking time, right? I don't know. You got to be mentally prepared for sure, right? Once you accept that, it was just a matter of time, right? Like, I might die. Once you accept that shit, you'll be all right? Because it's hard, man. Like, mentally, like I said, I had like my moments. I was like, what the fuck?
Do you remember the moment when you're like, hey, like I might not come back from this and I'm okay with that?
Not the exact moment, but I remember people were just left and right. Right, initially it was fun. Firefights are fun, right? Like, but then your friends start getting fucking schwacked, right? People start getting hurt, and it's like back to back to back. At probably like that summer time frame, June time frame, and then Clark got hit. I remember coming back from that mission, and I was just crying. I was like, what the fuck? I told him this in person, actually. I was like, bro, I didn't think you were gonna make it. He was like, oh, thanks, doc. Like, sorry, man. I'm glad you did, though. Yeah. Yeah.
And what about his situation made you think he wasn't gonna make it?
Just his injury, right? And we were patrolling for a while. He was like amputation to the leg. His arm, was it amputated? No, it was his fingers, right?
His fingers, yeah.
Just the situation that we were in. We couldn't call a medevac. They were out, right? And the PJs had to come in it took them, I don't know if it took forever. It took quite some time.
Took us a while to get to the LZ,
right,
that's
so
for sure.
Like,
yeah.
Right. Time was ticking, right? I didn't have blood. Again, this was 2012. I pushed freaking Hexton. I remember giving him an IO. And yeah, I remember puking too. And Sergeant Ott was smoked. I don't know. I just thought, I was like, oh, fuck, he might not make it.
Yeah.
But maybe I was doubting myself. I don't know, from like Pinnacle and Lily, right? I did everything I could. And
So, I mean, this would have been your first, like traumatic amputation you treated since Pinnacle and Lily? For an American, at least?
maybe. Yeah. Maybe. I don't think we had another one.
Oh, no, we had that dude, the Afghan.
Right, but not an American.
Not an American, yeah.
Yeah, there was like a bunch. Like, oh yeah, that Afghan guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That video. Yeah, don't show that.
Yeah, so it's a little graphic for our audience.
Tell this motherfucker to shut the fuck up. Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't have the greatest bedside manner, Doc.
Oh, I know. Yeah, to this day, man. So to this day, and I'm happy with that. I don't have to go to the hospital and work at the hospital, right? I'm like, you can't be saying that shit here. Like, oh yeah.
As a medic, what's your biggest takeaway from your time in Panjwai? What's the one thing that you carry forward, and you also you carry forward with you professionally, but you also put it on your younger guys, your guys that are coming up?
Yeah, like I said, so it starts with physical training, understanding your job, right? Knowing your craft. Like, read, man. I used to fucking hate reading, right? Start picking up books, knowing what's out there, like the most up-to-date stuff. Practice, right? Practice your craft. Put on a fucking tourniquet, right?
Yeah.
On your downtime. Yeah. Nobody wants to do it, right? People always want to do the cool shit. Like, oh, I'm gonna go do all these fucking, I don't know, drill some bones, push some fluids, right? But those things don't matter if you don't know how to pack, right?
Yeah.
What stops the bleeding? Pressure, right?
Right.
Knowing anatomy. I mean, I'm not the greatest. Even to this day, right? I would pick up a book just to study these things, because medical things change all the time, right? Throughout the years. So, stay ready, right? We don't train for the 99% of the time, nothing's going to happen. But that 1%,
yeah,
right? When you're called to the situation and you're like, oh fuck, I wish, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Well, too late, right? So you gotta stay ready. I know it's pretty hard. It takes a lot of discipline, right? Even for me, man. Like, it's mundane. It's the basic shit. I want to go do cool stuff, but again, it doesn't matter. Master the basic stuff, from PT to your weapons, right? Like, and I was telling you this in the vehicle. I was like, man, we barely really shot. Like, well, not shoot, right? But we zeroed our guns once. We never really reconfirmed if they were zeroed, right? Like, nobody really taught us ballistics. You know what I mean? Like, at 25 meters, your bullet goes this way at this certain grain, right? All those things, right? Like, I mean, and I get it, right? There's a lot of stuff that happens in the Army, but if you truly love what you do, right? And the higher you go, and you should, right? And you owe it to your guys. You owe it to the soldiers left and right. And study, right? Take the time to fucking study. Buy a gun. I don't fucking know. I don't know if you don't like guns, right? But watch videos. There's YouTube, right? Just study. It's for your guys. Because for me, I don't want to live regretting things, right? I don't know if I can, like, for my guys right now, right? We're on standby. We might be called at any moment, and we go out there, something happens, and then I don't want to think back, hey, could have I done something?
Right. I wish I would have done this.
I wish I would have done that. Yeah. And I don't know if I can come back, look at the parent in the eye, and tell them, I'm sorry, I fucked up, right? No, I can't do that shit. So I would risk me being an asshole, right? You hating me, but then I brought you home. And then later, you might realize, that he was a douche, but it's all right. At least I brought you home, right?
Sure.
To me, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good place to wrap it up. Yeah. We usually at the end of these things just kind of give you a chance to say if there's anything we didn't cover. Is there anything you wanted to say to anybody or anything like that? The floor is yours.
All right. So for Pinnock's parents, brothers, sisters, right, family members, friends, and Lily, right? Maybe one day I'll come visit. I'll come visit you guys. It's been a long time. Yeah. Initially, I don't know, man. Yeah, that shit really haunted me for reals for a long time, and that drove that deployment, right, is like the foundation of who I am really as a person. I don't know if I should be like thanking you guys, but yeah, maybe one day I'll come visit you guys. And I'm sorry if you guys have waited this long to hear this piece, right? Yeah, maybe one day. Yeah. And thank you to you guys. Thank you to you, Curtis, to Luke, right? Thank you to everybody in that unit, right? Without you guys, I don't know, man. I probably wouldn't be here, right?
Well, I think there's quite a few of us that could literally say the same thing.
Yeah. Really awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well,
we appreciate it, buddy.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for listening to another episode of Season 3 of the Panjwai Podcast. We appreciate you sticking with us all the way to the end of the episode. But just one more thing before you go, please hit the like and subscribe button and make sure that you are following us on our social media.